Good evening, everybody. Welcome to America's Third Party. I'm David Sponheim, and this is Freedom Friday. Hello. We are recording this show, so you get to watch this show in archive footage at our YouTube site. We're going to be doing as much as we can to minimize any type of a negative campaign here. I'm trying not to rake on Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton tonight. Instead, talk to you about all the positive things that I want to do for the country. And you'll wonder why I wasn't in the news over the past 8 years trying to do this. We'll find out about how corrupt our country is from the ground up. Many of you are looking at the possibility that Bill might have some dirt on him coming up before the election. There's been talk about him having a picture with a 13-year-old. That's an allegation that has yet to be real. That was a story that Anonymous propagated last week. We haven't seen that picture of him with a 13-year-old allegedly having relations. Now, all of this is still beginning to affect our chat room because just last night we were playing a video that had been censored on another mainstream media event out there that actually didn't make it actually to the show. We actually played it, and then all of a sudden our show was shut down. And that video alluded to the big concern that Hillary has that the story about Bill and his sexcapades will get to the forefront of the media. So we were censored. And even Sarah was like, I think they're censoring us, David. This is the first time I've ever heard her say that, even though we've been censored many times. She just doesn't always believe it. But the good news is that the FBI has reopened the case into Hillary, but the truth of the matter is there's not a lot there. And I said this earlier, it's like the death of 1,000 cuts. You're seeing the slow battering of the Hillary campaign, but it's still floating pretty high on its own with 4-point leads over Trump almost everywhere. And in swing states, she's still leading. So many people are beginning to think that Donald Trump and his new attack on her corruption, saying she is so corrupt that she should be in jail, all this is the one thing that he can do. But really, the one thing that would really take Hillary down right now is the reveal on Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein. And it hasn't reached the mainstream media to this day. And Jeffrey Epstein was charged with pedophilia back in 2007. One of the women testified that she saw Bill Clinton at Orgy Island. And she was a younger woman, under 18, that saw Bill Clinton there. So you got to wonder why that elephant in the closet hasn't reared its ugly face about Bill Clinton and that underage minor. Yeah, so Hillary's been dealing with what is called Bill Clinton Incorporated all her life, and apparently she's now phrasing it that way or framing it that way. A lot of the media is looking at the poor Hillary. She's had to deal with Bill Clinton and his money maneuvering with the Clinton Association. She's ready to throw Bill under the bus. I wouldn't doubt she has divorce papers signed and ready to go if indeed a story comes out about Bill and some underage minor at Jeffrey Epstein's island, Orgy Island. St. James Island, I think it's called. So yeah, that's the story that we aren't hearing, but we see this little tidbit they give us. Jim Comey must feel a little guilty for having given her a free ride. The FBI, which has been widely criticized for declining to enter criminal charges against Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton over her use of an unapproved email system for classified information, now is reopening the investigation. Yeah, I know Kathy O'Brien talked about Bill and Hillary, yeah, but no one's given her any serious media time. Never. I would never do that. I would never touch. No way. So basically the story about Bill has been suppressed, and this little tidbit brought to you by Jim Comey after he knows he looks like he's on the take is now the big story. I mean, it's nothing. If they got anything, they would have presented it. If this is a telltale sign of her being involved in the death of Chris Stevens, that would be enough to really fry her in this election and put Donald Trump in the lead. But we haven't seen anything of substance. No substantive claims have been validated. All this innuendo about John Podesta, it does look really, really bad for the Democratic National Committee, but it's not enough to indict any one person. Now, apparently the computer seized in the Wiener probe prompts the FBI to take new steps in the Clinton email inquiry. Okay. So it's the Wiener computer that's the telltale computer that was seized by the FBI now. Good, thank you. Chris Stevens was the man who died in Benghazi. He was the ambassador. And when Barack Obama said in response to his death, well, it's just a bump in the road. The American people were like, what? It's just a bump in the road when our ambassador for Benghazi dies? Our Libyan ambassador in Benghazi dies? So we're still dealing with a problem that was never really vetted by the FBI and never really brought to a proper trial. In fact, I said something earlier, and I'll say it again. The day after Hillary Clinton heard of the Benghazi attack, and everyone heard about it, not only was she spinning two stories, one story she told her family that it was a terrorist act, and the other story she said it was the Innocence of the Muslims movie that created a riot that caused it, but she was also up to some interesting behavior. And I was watching her behavior closely as just a news gatherer, and I noticed that she pulled the MEK, a known terrorist group, off the terrorist watch list the next day. It smelled like payback to me. And it smelled like she was up to something. And nobody's ever investigated this on a national level. Now, this is a serious allegation I'm making, but I got to tell you, nobody else is talking about it. I'm talking to you. That's who I'm talking to. Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? So Anthony Weiner's email is definitely his entire server. Yeah, this is interesting. The Wiener probe prompts the FBI to take new steps. So probing the Wiener file has gotten interesting little tidbits. But will it stick? Is this just Jim Comey acting like he's doing something while he waits for everybody to fill in their Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump chosen insignia? They say that Jill Stein will get about 2% of the votes. Gary Johnson maybe 3%. That's what they're saying. Trump isn't qualified. He's never been in public office. And he seems to be a corporate sellout, a guy who just sells out constantly. Yeah, anybody can take out loans when you acquire a lot of money. It becomes a kind of a fixation for a lot of people. And Donald Trump, self-proclaimed...
I'm the king of debt. I love debt. I'm the king of debt. I love debt.
He loves debt, meaning he would put our country deeper and deeper into debt. You know, I'm not tracking the election right now, Morgoth. We're more concerned about solving problems. The Wiener issue is very, very sticky. Okay, we've got a link to the most damaging WikiLeaks. Interesting. So that's something somebody's been pulling together. Here is the most damaging update here. I'm of the belief that Julian Assange is just being played because he's not delivering anything really that strong. This is a mire of leaks that have been redacted and possibly re-engineered. I'm concerned that there's not one implication of any Zionist control of our government. There's no reference to Israel in any of the WikiLeaks. It's very strange. It's been antiseptically scrubbed, it seems. So that's why I'm beginning to think that the leaks themselves are just kind of a disinformation stream that was developed by the government. Maybe in the early days, WikiLeaks was doing something important, revealing the truth about Iraq, but you got to understand the government has unlimited sources of money. I just don't believe everything I hear about them. And the recent, reveal from Julian Assange, and then he goes into hiding, and then all of a sudden he can't get the internet through. It looks like it's some sort of a kabuki drama. That's a kabuki drama. I've never seen one other than on video, but Chicago voters cast ballots from beyond the grave. Yeah, we know that ballot rigging is going on left and right. I mean, we're in a massive stream of corruption coming out of the government. And I've been talking about corruption on every level for so long, it's almost like getting old without having made any progress.
Tonight, a CBS 2 investigation. Voters casting their ballots from the grave years after their death. We think of it as a part of Chicago's past. We even make jokes about it. But in an election year, when vote fraud is a campaign issue, 2 investigator Pam Zeckman found surprising answers to the question, do dead people vote in Chicago?
Susie Salee was buried in 1998, yet records show she voted 12 years later. Victor Crosswell died in 1994, but
Okay.
records show he's voted 6 times since then. And then there's Floyd Stevens. Records show he voted 11 times since his death in 1993.
It's crazy. I don't see how people can be able to do something like that and get away with it.
Those are just a few of the cases we found by merging Chicago Board of Elections voter histories with the death master file from the Social Security Administration. In all, our analysis showed 119 dead people have voted a total of 229 times in the last decade. A Board of Election spokesman says a majority of the dead voters we found were most likely clerical errors involving family members with the same names and addresses.
This is not the bad old days. There are just a few instances here where a father came in for the son or a neighbor was given the wrong ballot application and signed it.
But in some cases, there was no clear explanation. Take Tadeusz Cisla. Records show he voted in 2010, but his nephew, Marek Cisla, says that's impossible.
He died in 1998.
Someone obviously voting for him.
Fraud. That's a fraud.
Some of these could be accidental or just some individual who says, well, I really like such and such a candidate, so I'm going to take advantage of this and vote till they stop me.
Allen says about 60,000 dead voters have been purged from the rolls over the last decade, but we found numerous examples of that not happening. Earl Smith says he reported the 1997 death of his father, also named Earl Smith. And it shows your father voting twice after he died.
Somebody missed the ball.
Allen says the board identifies and removes most dead voters.
Anytime you can clean up the rolls helps reduce.
This guy he's a pandering to the reporter. It's like total kiss ass, covering his ass as usual. Yeah, the dead vote because these Democrats are notorious for rigging elections. And same with the Republicans. So yeah, we got a lot of problems with the corruption. We felt it firsthand in my 2014 race. No, he's actually working against his own campaign with the allegations of groping women. I mean, this guy is not winning the women vote. Without the women vote, Donald Trump is pretty much dead in the water in terms of pulling out of this race. 53% of the country are women, and they don't like to be treated like objects or talked about like objects. Even if these are alleged gropings, women don't like that. Okay, another story about a military veteran. Bonus scandal might be much worse than initially reported. Okay, the bonus scandal where everyone in 2005 and 2006, I believe they were giving people $15,000 to sign with the reserves. I heard about it. A lot of people did. Well, they're trying to get that money back from the military men and women that did join the reserves. I've never groped a woman in my life. There you go. Clinton does too. But, telling people that he's not as bad as Bill Clinton made Donald Trump look like a predator. We're on Vaughn. The serious question is, we are growing rapidly and we are growing too fast for any one network. Vaughn is allowing us to broadcast even though they're censoring us. So because we are limited in our scope to reach out, we don't have a lot of budget because we don't get a lot of donations. We're using whatever free networks are available to us. And right now we're broadcasting on Battlecam and Vaughn. And if you want to check out our feed at AmericasThirdParty.com, you'll see a better, cleaner video signal because Vaughn is already taking and deprecating our signal. Signal deprecation. The Pentagon and Congress are both promising quick fixes to the scandal surrounding the excessive National Guard bonus payments to soldiers. However, the nearly 10,000 California Guard soldiers involved may be just the tip of the iceberg. I've never groped anybody. No, Vaughn doesn't have a total of 200 people max. No. Our show is actually being broadcast through UHF channels off of the network. We're reaching nearly 1 million people right now worldwide. Right now. They're trying to get in our show and they're censored. I talked to one guy last night. He spent 56 minutes refreshing his screen to get in here. No, I don't carry a mirror in my pocket. You have a mouse in your pocket, or is that a gerbil? My father always used to say, "Who are you calling we? Do you have a mouse in your pocket?" You know, I don't believe in treating women like objects. Claiming I slept around with ugly women is just not true. No. All the women I've been with in my life have been beautiful. Even the ugly ones. Trump rally had about 60,000 watching just on YouTube today. Oh, yeah. What did they get for that? 20 bucks a piece? What's he paying for the rallies now? What's the set rally price to get into a... Okay, here it is. This is a stroking gun. New York Post is claiming this is a bigger story than you could ever imagine, as opposed to Wiener, which is a kind of a non-story. Okay, here it is. Stroking gun. Wiener's sex probe found dirt on Hillary. Whoa. That's right. The FBI is looking into new emails as the Hillary Clinton private server case. Messages the Fed found because they were investigating Anthony Weiner's sex to a teenager. Wow. I'm just blown away that Weiner would be involved in the Hillary Clinton emails dump scandal. Being he's done everything above board. I mean, when he sexts, everybody knows he's sexting. He's the most transparent guy out there, don't you think? Dickie Leaks, yeah. You find him attractive? Dude looks like Anthony Cumia. Obama only had 300 watching on YouTube. You may need to pay more. I don't pay for any of the people watching me, because my show is so damn fun. I just can't help but being fun. I'm a fun person. I want to legalize marijuana. I mean, who doesn't like that? I want to make recreational marijuana like a high priority so that we don't have any impairment and our economy continues to grow and build. Anybody could be able to, once I legalize it, anybody will be able to tell their kids, you know, go ahead and plant some in the backyard. We'll just use the profits to pay for your... Yeah, we got 10,000 viewers in Shalon Alan. Really? Wow. See how fast the chat's moving? That's a sure sign we got lots of viewers. Chilean Villa de las Estrellas base in Antarctica. Wow, I didn't know there were 10,000 people in Antarctica. Amazing. Buenos dias. In the Chilean Villa de las Estrellas base in Antarctica. I didn't know that. Wow, you guys are amazing. Are you turning all your lights off to thwart trick-or-treating? I am trying to minimize the trickery that's going on. Yeah. I don't want to be bothered during the show because I will be in full regalia, dressed as Donald Rump. I do enjoy recreational marijuana. We have it in our state, yeah. I vape it. It's nice. When I'm relaxing after a long show, kick back. It helps with sleep, too. You got problems sleeping, definitely, there are certain kinds of marijuana that actually really help in that department. You know, PTSD survivors like Doopster, he does a little marijuana to help him get through the PTSD. He's got serious post-traumatic stress disorder, so it helps him sleep. But it's benign. It's not a physical addiction, so it's not a big thing. Body's not going to crave it if you go off of it like you do with cigarettes and alcohol. The Clinton State Department spent $5.4 million tax dollars on crystal stemware. Wow. 630,000 on Facebook likes. What an unbelievable waste of money. Oh my goodness. The Clinton State Department, waste and mismanagement. Good. State Department spent $5.4 million on a no-bid contract for crystal stemware. And remember when she left the White House, when Bill finally left after 8 years? They stole the furniture. Remember that? I have smoked marijuana, yes. I'm telling you, I'm going to make it totally legal as president. I told you that. I'm the guy to make this happen. We cannot stand wasting the lives of youth doing nothing when they could easily be harvesting a plant in the backyard, and their dad would go, well, I guess you could pay rent now. We're not going to kick him out of the house. Thanks, Dad. Is my face getting longer? There we go. I thought it was a little thin there. Thanks, Dad. Yeah, it was kind of weird. Look at my face like, that's not my face. Thanks. Well, anyway, I'm not mocking Alzheimer's patients at all, no. No, I don't recommend anybody driving or operating machinery smoking weed. I told you that the laws will still be just like they are today. We will have a 15 nanogram minimum, as opposed to a 5 nanogram per milliliter of blood THC level. It's going to be raised because I don't think you can really get inebriated on less than 15, but we're going to make sure that people who are operating machinery don't smoke at all, at least while they're doing it. Yeah, question. Somebody said, will you lower the drinking age to 15? No. Alcohol really does affect your brain. And, you know, until 21 years old, your brain is still forming. Who is we? You got a mouse in your pocket? We could use the saying my dad gave me. Non-GMO crop circles showing up in cornfields in Nebraska. This is a good sign. Even the aliens are supporting the non-GMO crop production. This is great. The alleged aliens, because I really don't know if there are aliens. I mean, there are unmanned aerial vehicles that can make crop patterns like this. They were developed by Rocketdyne. I'm sorry, I shouldn't tell you that. That is top secret information, David. Thank you. David, have you seen... Really? I have not seen her Facebook post. What did she say? I'm questioning her loyalty too. One person on Cool Rock Stats. Your stream is not streamed anywhere else. Like I said, 610, they take our stream from our signal on our site and they bump it on UHF channels. Those people just watch the show. I support full disclosure, yes. The Stephen Greer CSETI project, I do. I think he's kind of gotten the raw deal from our government. I tell you, the Clintons are the true criminals of the century, I know. It's like Supertramp, crime of the century. It kind of makes me think of the Clintons. You know, I'm not heavily exploiting Snapchat right now. No, I have real hair. This is my hair. And I put conditioner on it, so... We're not on Cool Rock. Yeah. I'm telling you, our site is being broadcast on UHF channels. What the hell's wrong with you? Are you retarded? It's okay if you are. Accusing me of being a robot is ridiculous. Let's change dimension here. Let's go to a different look. I don't have a girl named Hillary. I don't want you to vote for Hillary. I don't want you to vote for Donald. I would ask that you write my name in, if you could. So we are the home of the $400 a month per U.S. adult citizen. We're the only ones offering money to everybody. This will erase welfare. I'm trying to intercept the fake democracy that we are currently engaged in with the two-party system. So I'm very concerned that we are dealing with here. I'm sure saltwater pipelines could be habitats for growing fish and shrimp and all kinds of things. Yes. Good question, though. Thank you. Rule 34. American Airlines plane catches fire. Was that the one with Pence on it? Or is that a different one? So you can find all of our platform ideas at AmericasThirdParty.com. We are ready to go, and our ideas are exciting, actually. They can fix the country. They can fix all the different problems. The biggest problem in our country is the high cost of health care, I think. I mean, the doctors are ripping people off left and right. No, I definitely don't have any STDs or that. I'm not a midget, folks. I'm 6'4", in case you thought I was a midget. Welcome to America's Third Party, everybody. This is an ongoing interactive virtual chat experience where we listen to your chat, respond, and we play you videos and bring in links from off the internet. I don't think legalizing marijuana makes me a pusher. I'm not trying to profit from it. I want the country to profit from it. I'm trying to avert World War III and global nuclear destruction. I'm not ignoring you. No. Should I ignore you? Guest 504? Will you stop with the midget president thing? Thanks. It's irrelevant. No, I'm trying to keep America great. Trying to make America great again is Ronald Reagan's belief. I'm trying to get rid of fluoride in the water. I want to stop chemtrails. Yeah. I am not unstable. In fact, I'm the most normal, sane person around. I'm super sane. David, do you hotbox the Oval Office? No. What we would do is create a humidor. A room where you put a vaporizer, like in a volcano, if you've ever tried one of those. And a person would go in there and it would have the THC in the room. And it would be recycled. So it would hardly ever go away. Yeah, so you'd only allowed to be 15 seconds in the humidor. And then you'd come out going, "Hi, how are you? Nice Oval Office you have here, Dave." Yeah, it's too bad that the FBI hasn't pulled up the real dirt. Anthony Weiner is not enough. We're hoping that it's going to be something that'll stick on the Hillary case. I was hoping something like an order claiming she was sending money to a certain group of terrorists to take out Chris Stevens, terminate him. Yeah, nothing like that yet. We're still waiting on a direct order to take out the ambassador from the Secretary of State's office. I have not seen that. Have you seen that? I've not seen it yet. I've never had any psychotic episodes. They have enough to arrest her. Well, you tell that to Trey Gowdy while he polishes his cue ball head. He didn't really do anything. Who will be your SOS? Well, I'm not going to tell you, because it wouldn't be a secret then. Your eye movements give you away as a fraud. Now that's bull crap. What are you, an eye movement reader? I'm giving you 100% honest truth every single night, delivered on cue, without a fail. I've been doing this show consistently for 8 years, without skipping a beat. We take Sundays off for a day of rest. Trey Gowdy, I have told that too, Dave. Yeah, I didn't like Trey Gowdy's his minimal efforts. You know, I could have done more in 1 hour than he did in 12 hours, parading around, pretending like he was getting to something. I would have just asked her, did you search for a way to get rid of your emails on your server, Hillary? On your internet, did you search, yes or no? What difference at this point does it make? No, did you serve? did you search on your server a way of getting rid of your emails? And she would have said yes. Why did you want to get rid of your emails? She chooses to plead the fifth on that one. Okay, there you have it. That would have been enough to take to court and to move on an indictment. But I'm not an attorney. Don't you think all presidents get elected, get corrupted once in office? Aren't you afraid that'll happen to you? No, I'm not, because I've already risked my life, and I'm not materialistic, and I don't see personal gain as my primary motive in life. I'm personally involved in the need to fix this country. I'm a 16th generation American, and I've watched our nation continually slip under bad leadership. And I've asked the big questions, why? And every time it shows me that the two parties are failing. They're failing to cut the budget because they have too many cronies that collect money from them. They collect money from. These cronies are corporate cronies, contract buddies that get these people elected, and they pay us a mere pittance for what they get in return, your tax dollars dumped into their hands. The head of a for-profit university that donated up to $5 million to the Clinton Foundation was rewarded with an invite to a high-profile State Department dinner at the request of then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Doug Becker, CEO of Laureate International University, got his senior VP, Joseph Duffy, into the meeting of world-class academics at the August 2009 dinner because Becker was someone who Bill likes a lot, and his school was the fastest-growing college network in the world, Clinton wrote in an email to her chief of staff revealed on WikiLeaks. Apparently, the pay-to-play is becoming more obvious as we look into the WikiLeaks. Yep. So all the signs are there that they used their office for personal gain. Try to stay relevant with your statements. Don't denigrate me or run me down because, yes, America's fixable. Mute Mo. Yeah. I think so. If you want to read our book, Hybrid Capitalism, we'll tell you all about it. You can check it out on our website. We believe that the key problems, the rising cost of healthcare, can be resolved with mobile medical units. And that's our idea. It's not Donald Trump's. Dubster says if they closed Trump's donation foundation, why don't they close the Clintons? From what I understand, they accepted millions. Yeah, Dubster. Yep. Good point. But doesn't that make Donald Trump complicit? I have listened to the early days of Art Bell, but I don't really like George Norrie. I think he's a sellout. Kind of like a lot of these people. I could, but I'm not going to. You look like that agent in The Matrix. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson, that agent. You feel that you are somehow superior to the rest of us, Mr. Anderson. You have learned something unique. We want to know what it is. Simply put, tell us or we'll terminate you, Mr. Anderson. I never wrote that. It was getting weird when he said I looked like Mr. Smith from The Matrix. So we got Wiener in the news. Wiener in the news. Da 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 da. Yeah, apparently the source of this new FBI probe started in an investigation into Wiener's emails. Why is it the truth is stranger than fiction today? I mean, it's almost like, is this really happening? I was not born to be a pervert. Your mouth, have no chin. Starts at left, no chin. I have chin. As you can see, it's very pronounced. Well, I wouldn't be good friends with Putin like Donald Trump. I would probably just say, hey, Putin, we're not going to be spending our time worrying about Syria and sending rebel troops in, so you can relax. That's my starting point. And I wouldn't mind a sit down on telepresence where we can talk, and person to person, and develop a rapport. That would be an ideal way to go. Okay, here we go. Congress. Attorney General Lynch pleads fifth on the secret Iran ransom payments. You know, recently $4 billion has been doled out for people in exchange coming out of Iran, and they're still trying to blackmail our country for more. Yes, in my mind. Chin, see? Chin. Thank you. Dick Van Dyke, very good guy. Very similar to me. You're the man, thank you. Yeah, I'm 6'4". Yeah, thank you. This is not witless. No, everything about our campaign is solid. Our book, 200 pages of solid ways to fix the country. Our Baseline Plus campaign, which is designed to give people, an average person, $400 per U.S. citizen. It's a big, big step in the right direction. Dick Van Dyke is gay? I didn't know that. No, Dick Van Dyke really was more of a song and dance man. I'm impersonator. Yes, I do impersonations. Why do you allow a subject discussion? I don't know what of subject discussion is. Thanks, Donald Rump. You bought it. Thank you. Okay, so some people are speaking in tangential statements and non sequiturs. Time for a visit to the psychiatrist. Trolling for the cure. I'm going to mute you because I ran for office in 2014 here, and I had 90% of my signs stolen. To prove that I could get on the ballot, I got on the ballot in the primaries here in Washington. But I was cheated. They cheated against me. The Democrats are notorious for this. 90% of my signs were stolen. And I ran around for 2-3 weeks posting new signs constantly. It just is impossible to beat these people when they cheat. So you're saying Dick Van Dyke is married to a dude? I don't get it. I'm trying to figure this out. Nitrates can cause liver cancer, and they're found in local water in Seattle. A lot of problems with point-of-use water filtration. We haven't done enough. David, I like your black ghetto man impersonation. It's spot on. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I take a lot of pride in my impersonating everybody. I'm going to try to help the country, not take it over. I believe in the process. You know, I believe in the mystique of a good president. When I saw Barack Obama, I was pretty much blown away by how bad he was. And that's one of the reasons why I created, you know, an alternative way, a new third party in 2008. I left the Democratic Party because I just felt that they were being sold out to corporations. And we know for a fact that they are. Dick York? You think I'm Dick York? All right, everybody ready to talk about the 1,000-mile fence and how we're going to deal with the artificial intelligence device that's running our country? Thank you, Dave. That's right. Jade Helm is more than just an operation the U.S. Army is engaged in. It's actually an artificial intelligence design plan to mobilize ordnance and munitions capable of taking over the country from unknown sources, possibly UN, assimilating our nation, essentially. Aren't you glad I'm here to talk about how we're going to stop an assimilation of our nation by foreigners? I'm the guy, not Trump, I'm the guy who started with the 1,000-mile fence idea. And in no way am I going to forget that idea. It's top of the line here. David, do you believe in aliens? No, I believe there is life outside of our Earth, but I don't believe that they're reptilians and Palladians with weird faces. Okay, here's a picture of Dick Van Dyke with his new bride. Wow, she's a looker. Look at that. There you go. You know, Dick Van Dyke was a reformed alcoholic his whole life. Isn't that interesting? He's never been back on the bottle. He gave it up. And look at that. He found a nice young bride. Wow, look at that. He seems very happy. She's very pretty. 86-year-old Dick Van Dyke looks like a giddy young groom with his bride in a photo from the couple's intimate wedding. He tied the knot with the makeup artist Arlene Silver, 40 years old, on Leap Day this year. They beamed as they cut their two-tier wedding cake topped with red flowers. I bet it was an exciting, wonderful evening Dick was having with his wife. I can do 50 push-ups. I just choose not to. Well, who cares? Dick's enjoying... I shouldn't say that. Dick Van Dyke is enjoying his life. Let him revel in his peace. I was never, ever demanding anything. And why do you make up stories about me? Guess 666. Widespread AT&T service outages being reported in Indianapolis, Chicago, and other Midwest cities right now. Wow. Isn't it amazing? We are looking at major problems with the infrastructure in our country. You know, we need a new grid of some sort, like a genius grid, not a smart grid, a genius grid. A service outage appears to be affecting AT&T customers across the Great Lakes region. Outages, yes. Okay, thank you, that's news. News you can snooze by. I put the TP roll over. What about you? Does everybody do it over on the TP roll? Are you high? No. Should I be? Should I get? I don't think you're allowed to get high on this show. Don't evict. I look like a recovering burn victim. What, sunburn or something? Your eyes look high. Really? Okay. I want to see what's going on with Goldie Hawn's plastic surgery. I was at a store today, and I saw this picture of Goldie Hawn, and it's like, what happened to her? What's going on? This is the picture I saw on the screen, or on the magazine in front of me. She's gotten a little older, but she's got those... What is it with women and their lip jobs? Now, Kurt Russell and her have been boyfriend-girlfriend for their entire time together. They never got married. You haven't done the surfer dude impersonation in a few weeks, Dave. Okay, Verbs. I totally want to do that, man. Oh. Morgoth. Oh, I think, no, that's Goldie Hawn. That's like saying, David, are you David Soul?
Don't give up on us, baby. Don't make the wrong.
So, I mean, I do look a little like him, but I'm not him. Don't give up on me, baby. Yeah, don't give up on us, please. I sing pretty well, don't I? Don't give up on us, baby. This guy was Starsky and Hutch. Remember him? I think he was Hutch. This is our song discount. Don't give up on us, Rodney. We haven't talked in 2 weeks. Rodney was trying to call the other night, and I didn't have the right phone, so I couldn't pick up the phone. Hey, how you doing, buddy? I'm 6'4", man. What the hell's wrong with you? Slow dance song? We could, I don't know, it was a song that was very popular in the 1970s. Absolutely. Well, what do we want to talk about tonight? There's a lot to talk about, obviously. Too much to talk about. So let's just not talk about anything. Let's just sit and be catatonic tonight. What do you say? Ask your wife, hey, honey, think we should just sit and be catatonic tonight? Just Netflix and chill? Oh, yeah. get some dancers in here. Okay, you'll find this video very interesting. Let me show it to you. Giuliani talking about groping and whatever, something else.
And we are back. We have Rudy Giuliani here, of course, who has been an advisor working for Donald Trump here, and Mark Cuban, supporter for Hillary Clinton. You can't win if people don't believe you're going to have the fitness.
Sure, of course.
So the most recent poll, Washington Post, ABC, 62% of Americans say Trump does not have the fitness to be president.
What he's going to have to do is demonstrate that he's fit to be president, and that because of the FBI finding her extremely careless in the use of national security information.
No, that's not what he said. He said what the group was careless and how they handled the server.
He said she was extremely careless. He also went on to point out in the 302, you'll note, she was asked, did she know what the designation C meant?
Right.
And she said she didn't.
And then when
Let me finish. I know men who are touchy-feely. I know men who sometimes seem to act inappropriate in the way in which they touch or handle women. I don't like it.
You can do anything.
But Donald Trump is not one of them. He's always been a gentleman with women.
Grab him by the pussy.
I know men who are touchy-feely, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. Touchy-feely. I don't like it.
Oh man,
hey,
that poor woman.
Burger. I hope you. Why don't you subscribe to Super Deluxe while you're right here? Go ahead, do that right now.
Hey, Vic Berger, thank you so much, man. That was awesome. Rudy Giuliani, the guy that didn't bother to give anybody air masks, and instead 50,000 people now are barely able to get oxygen. The first responders that were involved in the 9/11 attack are barely hanging in there, thanks to Rudy Giuliani's bad leadership as a mayor. And he's one of Donald Trump's close right-hand men. Yeah. And you talking about groping while he's touching a woman. You look gay. Yeah. Even your chat looks gay, which is okay. It's okay to be gay. Some of you people are wanting to become gay. Apparently more than we ever thought was possible. We're not sure why so many people are trying to become gay, but maybe it's just brainwashing going on in the media, or it could be what you're eating. Maybe you're eating a lot of esters, and GMO soy will do that. Yeah, he was groping her arm. Do you see that? David, what candidate would you like to fight in real life? I'm not a fighting person. I've trained to fight, but I would rather seek peaceful solutions. I'm dedicated to nonviolence, so asking me who I want to fight is kind of a non-starter. It could be Wiener will bring down Hillary. Yeah, you're right. I'm not gay, I'm telling you. It's not disturbing. It's actually fun. Somebody said I looked like Howdy Doody last night. And being you talking about gayness constantly, let's talk about the old gayness of the Howdy Doody era. Yeah, the Howdy Doody. Yeah, those are the good old days. It's howdy doody time. It's howdy doody time. Let's bring up Howdy Doody right now. We've got it on cue. Doody-doody.
howdy doody 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 ho ho ho. Well, howdy doody, kids, and hey, Mr. Smith. Hi, little guy, howdy. And
so that's the Howdy Doody show. You guys never saw it, but some people say that I look like Howdy Doody. I need to talk about something that just came in the show. Clinton's house renovated without permits. This is weird. Records are showing that Newcastle Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's house. So she's above the law. Former Bill Clinton president have been renovating a house they bought next to their Chappaqua residence without several required local permits, according to building department records. What a very unassuming house, though, for a couple, with such power and such money. It looks like a track home or something. Doesn't that seem like a simple little Cape Cod style house? Howdy doody time, you howdy doody looking ma. I am manning any of you who say negative things about me. Yes. You're wasting my time and yours. I don't have a gas guzzling SUV. This is Border Patrol. This is what they do. They drive up and down the border checking for illegals. I don't want to hurt any candidate. I really respect the process. Why do you think I'm running for president?
Oh, you look like Jimmy Carter. It's not a bad thing. Well, I never had a farm like Jimmy. I know that he likes to grow peanuts. And he definitely suffers from peanut envy.
You white cracker, Dave. Isn't it funny how people can call people who are white crackers? And then anybody who's black, and if you're not black and you call them the N-word, you're automatically accused of racism. Isn't that amazing? What a double ethic. I'm going to wear the Donald Rump outfit on Halloweeny. Well, I'm talking about how people oftentimes call white people names, and it's overlooked. It just blows my mind. We have freedom of speech. Anybody can call anybody anything, and I stand by that. I don't do Helen Keller impersonations. Thank you. My favorite species of bird is the eagle, the vulture, the eagle vulture. Dupster says, I'm a cracker, and that's what you said to me, you graham cracker. Is Hillary the dwarf? How tall is Hillary? Is she like 5'5" or something? Does anybody know? Now, I've never been called nothing by nobody. People don't even call me for dinner. She's 5'2". That is pretty small. I'm 6'4". I tower over her. And she probably. I wonder what her robot is. I bet her robot's 5'5". They always make bigger robots. I just think that the country needs to step out of the box here. So they're above the law. They don't respond to. There was a plane that caught on fire on O'Hare Airport. This is from WGNTV.com out of Chicago. Let's go live to our affiliate in Chicago. Go ahead. Go ahead, Peter. Is that you? Brian Williams, is that you? David,
We're
I'm here
inside
with
Terminal 3 in the baggage claim area for
the
American
helicopters.
Airlines, and I can tell you, according to the screens down here, Flight 383 is not up on the arrival on the reader board. Now, this was an outbound flight, but uncertain whether or not these passengers would be coming here to get their baggage back, or if they're going to be bused to a separate area in the terminal and try to get out on a later flight to Miami. We did just quickly, walking by here, speak with a passenger who just arrived here from LA, and he told us when they were about to land that they actually had to circle O'Hare for about 30 minutes. He said they didn't really tell them what was going on, but once he landed, people started checking their phones and then realized that they may have been circling to find a different runway to land on his American flight that was inbound from LA. But so far, none of the passengers we've had a chance to speak with here, we've been here for about 15 minutes or so, none of them, when they were landing, saw this plane or saw any of the smoke or flames. So if you're just joining us now, we want to show you some video again and sort of recap what happened here this afternoon. So again, this was an American Airlines flight 383. It's a B-767, a twin jet that was supposed to take off here from O'Hare to Miami at 2:20 scheduled departure, but around 2:35 again is when the FAA is telling us that this plane blew a tire upon departure and that pilot aborted the takeoff. Now, American Airlines spokespeople are telling us that this was an engine-related mechanical issue. So some conflicting information there as to what could have caused this plane to burst into flames. But as you can see, a lot of dark smoke and heavy flames. The emergency response there on the runway. The passenger.
Let's go to a live leak image of inside the actual plane from somebody's video. Wow, this is scary. Go, 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 go.
Oh my God.
Stay seated, jump and slide.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. 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 Oh.
Wow.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my freaking God. Oh.
He got some smoke inhalation. Yeah.
Oh.
Look at that. Will you just look at that? Will you just look at that? Just look at it. Look at it. Will you just look at that? Isn't that scary? You know, they say smoke inhalation is the #1 problem in airplanes. So when I was looking online to see what kind of standards they have for airlines, I found out that none of them filter the air. And on top of that, they spray pesticides on board. Ladies and gentlemen, you're traveling at 20,000 feet. If you're listening, if you're smelling the pesticides, we are required by law to spray you. Thank you for flying Fume Airlines. Yeah, so they spray people on these airlines. Can you believe that? No, the air is not filtered. Most airplanes are not filtered. International flights do not filter their air. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look to the stewardess, you'll see that she's spraying toxic chemicals in your face. That's designed to protect you. If you come down with lung cancer, please don't sue the airlines because we don't believe that there's anything wrong with spraying pesticides in your face. Hey Dave, nice to see you, Potato Girl. I don't know, it's some sort of insecticide. Now you'd be lucky if you got the Mile High Club. Well, let's be clear. I bet it tastes great, yeah. Well, you know, I just don't believe that we should allow planes to be flying without filtering the air, so every single plane in America will be retrofitted with HEPA filtration filters that will clean any minor particles out of the air that could damage your lungs. I mean, that's what normal people do when they care. This is the EPA. The EPA should have done something. This is an atrocity. You should have made Barack Obama do something over the past 8 years, but you Democrats just didn't hold him to the accountability he should be held to. Did you hear?
provocative tweets, funny sounds, provocative tweets, funny sounds, provocative
Pocahontas. Bing, bing. No, she's got this goofy friend, Mike Cheese. She's a basket case. Donald Trump. Oh, boy. Goofus.
You gotta love it, man. I really am worried about the country just as you are. And you realize that the Democrats are to blame for why we don't have any leadership. The Republicans are also to blame for picking the worst possible candidate to run under their party. They're also at risk of losing the Senate. I got to worry about both Donald and Hillary. Hillary has this commie Marxist tendency and pay for play where it's like National Socialism, where she sucks up to the big corporations and leaves the little people to left with nothing. And she's a real snob. Donald is also a real snob and incredibly greedy as well, and has a tendency of sucking up to the Russians, which is a big national security risk. If you think I'm a phony and you're going to vote for Donald Trump and Hillary, I'm the most real person you'll ever meet on the internet. Yeah.
We're real people on the internet.
We're real people. Unlike the fake poster that you're sitting here with. Hi, Sarah. Welcome.
Hello, I am a fake poster. I'm just kidding. You're sitting here with a fake poster?
This is funny. Saturday Night Live hasn't been funny since 1979, so.
Yeah.
I mean, this is funny. But
Yeah,
we're talking politics.
David's a funny guy. All right. How are you guys all? How are you all? It's Friday nights, and you're here with me, so I feel privileged.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Well, that's just a rubber band.
Freps believes that Obama, yeah.
It's a butterfly in my hair.
Oh yeah, that's a beautiful. That's a clip from the 1930s, I think. It's an antique clip.
You guys want to see it again?
Isn't that cool?
It's hard to see because it matches my head.
Yeah.
It matches
That's
my
really
hair.
nice.
That's never going to happen, 891. This is not an adult site. This is a modest Sarah site.
Abnormal says, in 8 years, your face hasn't changed, Dave.
I know, isn't it amazing? He doesn't age. Oh, wait, do you think that means he's an android? No, that's not because he's an android.
There is...
He's just like, got anti-aging down pat.
I have been working on trying to minimize my aging, because I know I have to stay youthful throughout the next 15 years just to deal with the problems. My biggest crisis really is looking old. It's not any other crisis. Most people don't have to worry about that. But for me, looking old is a real problem because I am running for president and I have to look my best. All right, so Sarah's going to give you some time and I'm going to go do some dinner prep and I'll be back. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Even pork is fine. All right. It's because Dave is not outside soaking up the radiation and the government sprays. So true, Zetterbeard. Oh, yeah, maybe so. 828 remains to be seen, but maybe so. Not too much, 764, just enough to stay regular. Oh, am I interested in links to the top interest group giving to members of Congress? Actually, I probably would be interested in that if I had time. I'm busy doing other things. All right. That is pretty funny about Hillary. All right. You guys are pretty hilarious. Alright, I was going to open up our YouTube channel. Making sure I'm casting over there. Well, I don't even read what the people, some of the guests say to me. Sorry, guests, but I read it, but I don't respond. How about that? Our campaign budget is minimal. I don't have one of those 608. I'm just too darn conservative. Too sweet, too modest. That's what that was word I was looking for. Well, maybe she was, Reps. Would you be the Madam Vice President? There, I will. David does believe that, 893. I need 10 million to become president. All right, are you going to start giving me some money? $5,000 at a time. That's worrying. Well, we're here. You're here. I think it's all good. It's all meant to be. Please don't say negative things about David. Calling people names is not going to get anywhere. I have not yet succeeded Truth 2012, aka Rule 34U. I have not yet succeeded at coding Skynet using only Ruby on Rails. I'm working on that. Maybe. No, actually I'm not I'm not working on that. Well, I think everyone should have really big dreams. Okay, Sulan. Point made. You didn't know about the write-in voting option. I'm glad we brought it to your attention. Well, David's not my Manchurian candidates because it doesn't work like that. I didn't make him. It would be interesting to make someone, but I didn't do that. Listen, guests, type that you like this show right when David walks back in the room. I believe in the Second Amendment, 145, regardless of orientation, creed, gender, or anything like that. Oh, the FBI is reopening the investigation of Hillary Clinton? Good. Thank you. If you saw David Sponheim on a ballot, you would have voted for him, not Trump. And so that tells me that we really need to work to get David on the ballot. And you guys can do that. Three, maybe? Gender 34. Thanks, you're voting for David. David Sponheim. David Sponheim. His name's right above my head. There we go. Right there is his name. Wow. Yes. Sponheim would wipe out either major party candidate in the debate. Good. definitely write in David Sponheim. That's the whole idea of our show and this campaign. So I appreciate all of that. If I had a chance to roast anyone, to say like what a great person that is, I would probably roast David. Sometimes more often than that, perhaps, but at least that often. Yes, I was working on getting David on the ballot, and I overlooked all of the write-in information. And really, the problem is that the states, I believe, are violating the 14th Amendment, which is equal protection under the law. They should have one law for people to be on the ballot, and they should allow write-ins. That's what should happen. That's how I feel about it. All right. Do I exercise the right to bear arms? Well, I really don't like to talk about that. So if you try to find out, you will find out. Let's just leave it at that. Yes, I am encouraging people to vote for David. That's what I am encouraging people to do. What do you think, Bob? I don't even want to verify that with the answer, of course. Thank you very much, 217. Oh, well, you can think anything you want to about me. I wonder how I could clear the chat. Hello, Walter. A couple of days ago, BBC was telling us Clinton will win, but then the email scandal fired up again. Yeah. Oh, I don't want that. Hello, Henry. Welcome back. Yes, I am smart enough to have chosen David. I don't think I've lost weight. I mean, it's a possibility, but I didn't purposely do that. Well, 263, you do have a point there. All right, Walter asks, should you sell all your investments to avoid a Trump-induced crash? Ooh. I don't know the answer to that question. Of course, I'm not an investment banker, so I'm not going to give you investment advice, but I will say this. How about this, Walter? You've got me thinking that maybe I should, but I don't think that Trump... I really don't think Trump is going to win, or I really don't like either candidate. What are you talking about, 578? I'm not a mother. I never plan to be one. Yeah, did you lose some during that time, Walter? No, it won't be outlawed, but... Oh, the Brexit pound crash has filtered through to prices now, so everything's more expensive. Wow, everything important in the UK is now 20% more expensive. So here's what I would say, Walter, is that we should all invest in food supplies, food stocks. Not food stock like stock market, but actually building up enough food to make sure you can get through about 3 months. Thanks, 740. I believe in being supportive, 683. It's not just canned tuna or beanie weenies, but definitely canned beans and tomatoes and things like that. You have 4 cans of beans in the basement. Are they the little cans or are they the big cans? Yes, I'm slowly working on eating that, 683. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, 6768. I think a lot of people believe that. It's beanie weenies are cans that have hot dogs and some kind of bean in them as well. Well, okay, grow a garden. So 3 months and you have a 20% price increase in the UK on Macs, on bikes. Do I have any idea how you feel about Brexit voters? Pretty upset. Thank you. Oh, okay, 768. Good night, Black Kitty. I know it's Friday night. Do get some sleep. It's a really good idea. You walked away 2 hours ago to watch a documentary and you're surprised that we're still here. Oh. There was a campaign that explained that Brexit would increase the prices, and half of them said it's lies and the other half said we don't care, we just want control. I think so. I still am casting on Babblecam. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still casting there. No one's chatting over there. Sarah, would you genetically alter food to taste better? People can do that. I'm not opposed to people doing that. I myself am probably not going to do that. And actually, David does not believe in GMO food. He believes in non-GMO, and we always purchase non-GMO food whenever possible. So no, I would not genetically alter food. I believe that non-GMO food is the best tasting food ever. So 145, you said a pacifist unarmed military, but an armed to the 9 civilians population. I think a very well-armed civilian population is very good. It should be only prescribed by a doctor, Rule 34U. I went out to eat tonight. We try to buy, I mean, we don't always buy organic, but we do try to buy organic, and we definitely eat non-GMO food. So David always looks for the non-GMO label. Well, I would say with bread, Bob, if you can find non-GMO bread, it does taste better. I know, I'm pretty surprised myself, 740. I can hardly believe how long I've been with David. I look like a vegan. That's probably because my diet is mostly vegetarian. But that's just, it's pretty good. What are my guarantees that foods are organic or non-GMO? I believe in the labels. And especially it's like the non-GMO verified one. Who are you talking to, Mr. Banker? You only eat from your garden when it comes to veggies? That's a really good idea. I don't have the right soil yet to eat from my garden, but I'm working on that. Well, you'd have to ask him that, Water. So ask him why he believes in non-GMO labels. When it says non-GMO. 263, not when it says GMO. Is my bank account with a big bank? I have a credit card with a big bank, and then I have some bank accounts with, most of my bank accounts are with smaller banks actually. Oh, mass die-off of mussels. I guess those are freshwater mussels, Dry King. Okay, I will check it out. Oh, I have heard about that non-browning apple. Those are kind of weird. Rigged chat room, Sarah, you're thinking? Oh, Ed, you're still alive. Yes, I understand your question, Bag of Mostly Water. I'm just saying that that question should probably be directed toward David, because it concerns him more than me. Oh, hey, sorry. Hi, Sniper 1. Thank you for your kind words. All right. Yeah, most apples are crisp and don't turn all day. It's kind of weird because, like, I get apples and they do turn, and then David's like, oh, it's a brown apple. I'm like, well, would you rather it, like, stay white the whole time? I wouldn't, knowing that that's a genetically modified one. A simple organic sticker can double your profits, I believe that. But I'm not saying that I trust everything that says organic, but David does look for the organization that says non-GMO verified, because that's more of a, like, they have to go through a process to do that. Honeycrisp apples are good. The only onions I like to eat raw are called Vidalia onions. They're also called sweet onions, or Walla Walla onions. Those are very good, actually, raw. I could do a red onion raw, but I really dislike yellow onions raw. I like sauteed onions, but I'm not a big raw onion fan. Thank you, 963. Well, you can just hang out with me on here. Like, I've had raw onion sandwiches made out of Walla Walla onions and bread, mayonnaise, and Walla Walla onions, and those are really good. Just raw onions, but definitely not yellow. But the funny thing is Walla Walla have a yellow color to them, but they're super sweet. Well, the thing is, 613, it doesn't necessarily, it's not cheaper to grow organic, and I'll tell you why. The thing about growing organic is that, say you have one tree that's an organic apple tree, and one tree that's sprayed with pesticides. The pesticides, the Walla, yes, Walla Walla onions are from Walla Walla, Washington. The tree that's organic, not sprayed with pesticides, there could be birds and bees that are attracted to it, and so it could take away, it can, like, other animals can eat those crops, and so the tree that is sprayed with pesticides can actually produce more crop per the tree, because it's basically, it keeps the pests away. Bye, Bob. Thanks for stopping by. But I do agree that, like, the idea of that the organic food label has kind of become like a fad, like a shishi. Oh, we're gonna charge more money to call it organic, and it's just like been for richer people. Chemical leaching is your point, to not know if the true foods are truly organic or not. That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I understand your point too, 613. Organic should be less expensive, especially if they especially if they use the right soil. And the soil that, like vermicompost, basically compost from worms, is the right soil. I've had, free range beef, and I actually can tell the difference when I eat it. It just sits better with me. Sometimes birds fly lower than the chemtrails David's talking about. Big striking. Why did you call out Draw King today? Well, Walton, how about this? Like I said, you eat the non-organic, I'll eat the organic, and then let's just see what happens, Let's figure it out. Let's do our own study. You won't know until you actually do a study on it, so we can be the two subjects in our study. I think I missed something. Studies have been done already, and what were the results of those studies? 683. Well, that's just because I swim that I have large shoulders. Wow, 552. Yeah, good points, Water. Mostly the people who live longer just live their lives and enjoy their lives. I am an American, 269. I was born in America. I love America. Yeah, I'm sure you. I'm not saying that that non-GMO foods are will keep you healthy completely. I'm sure chlorine can make you age and things like that. Yeah, my mom said that too about women outliving men. I guess it does depend on your genes. So, my grandparents on my mom's side lived till their mid to late 80s. My grandparents on my dad's side, one lived into his late 80s, I believe, and the other one died when she was relatively young. So, yeah, I do believe that helps regulate hormones. So, and that's the big thing, is just eating healthy is healthy for you. And you kind of have to experiment and figure out what's right for your own body. I am the trust. Thank you. Oh, so duct tape thinks the main reason women live longer is because they have less testosterone in their body. Which is a pretty interesting theory and probably pretty accurate. Good question, 683. I don't know if there's anything that protects the farms. Maybe if they grew them in greenhouses, they grew all the organics products inside a greenhouse so that they wouldn't get the chemtrails on them, then that would protect them. Isn't it always someone like that? 552, like dentists or anyway. Henry says, thank you. Oh, that's interesting, duct tape. Well, yes, 768, but that's why you have to get the poison out. Actually, I think it's the opposite, 740, because you are building up that, men are building up that, and so need to get it out of their system. An adorable thunderstorm costume for his daughter. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
I get
you.
0.683.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Princess Cumulus.
Oh, Princess Cumulus? Hi.
Princess
You got cloud
Cumulus.
stuck in your tongue? Don't get me with your
That's
lightning.
pretty cool.
Is that
That is
cute thunder?
Did you show everybody?
No, I'm not going to show everybody. It's a kid.
It's not a professionally engineered show.
Yeah. But they have the link. They can go check it out themselves.
Dave, do you even vape? I don't talk about my personal life on our show, so thank you.
Do you even give links about animals? Drag King? Yes, Drag King does. That's what he's known for. He always gives links like, not this one.
There's a big muscle die-off coming out. Where is the muscle die-off going on?
Canada, Vancouver.
Big Derby. Muscle die-off stretches 50 miles. That's unusual. Ohio. Big Derby.
He gave me this link, and this link, and this one.
Tens of thousands of dead fish wash up in the river in Louisiana. Wow. I'm so glad that we totally rebuilt our fishing industry and we don't have to worry about having a fish supply now from the ocean. Having a massive amount of homegrown fish in America really, really helps, doesn't it? You can see that they're all over the place at the market when you go buy these fish.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, isn't it? Abnormal. We can hang out on Friday night party, but then, we don't have to worry about
David, Sarah looks real,
things
man.
like that.
Yeah, she is a real
I'm
person.
a real person. Yep, real.
We don't know what Kennewick is attracting. JJs were born during that time period. Okay, so we're going to look toward the future where we have a fence along our border because I believe it's imminent. If Hillary gets elected, we're still moving forward with the fence idea. It's very much a big part of our plan for the country. Tough crowd, yeah, really bad. Thank you for the presidential tie, the red, white, and blue. It looks good. Thank you. See, I'm worried about the ocean too, but I really think we need to step up our fisheries. And I was kidding about, the fishing industry is a joke in America. When you go to the market, you buy this tilapia, which they say is raised in. They say that tilapia is raised in sewage.
Yeah.
Sewage. That's what I've heard. They dump sewer water into the tilapia fields in China. I'm serious. So yeah, I'd much rather have a filtered water system with our ocean pipeline and, talk about some of those things that we want to do here. We also have, of course, the $400 per month per U.S. citizen. We should bring that up. Makes us different than the other guys. All right, thank you. Don't give up on us, baby.
Sorry.
As your theme song, I won't. I'm gonna sing it like David's soul. Thank you, Sarah, for helping out. We don't know. Trump's coming on strong like he has something in the emails that really implicate Hillary. We'll find out, because if it's true, it's almost a given that Hillary would have to drop out of the race and Trump would win by default. Wouldn't that be interesting? Never thought that would happen, huh? I know she loves me and I love her. So what's wrong with that formula in life? Who gets the 400? Anybody. If you can prove your U.S. citizenship, you can get the 400 per month. It's going to be kind of a dole thing, but we don't want it to feel like a dole. I know. We've given up our dinner together. Thank you, Guest 578. We've given up our dinner together to do the show, but we do dinners out together. That's fun. 300 kilometer per hour bike overtaken by a family station wagon. I'm worried about Trump. I'm concerned that he's going to create deportation forces and ID Muslims and create havoc for our country. Plus, he seems to be favoring Russia. Wow. Family station wagon beats the 300 kilometer per hour bike. Pretty nice. It's very dangerous to drive on the highway in one of these things. Your chances of dying are dramatically higher if you're 18 to 25 years old and you're driving one of these motorcycles. You've got an 85% chance of being in a major accident, leading to death. 85% chance. Isn't that amazing? 18 to 25-year-old male in specific, not females. I don't think they measure females. Pretty cool. 200 kilometer, 300 kilometer per hour is beaten by a family station wagon. God, is this the Autobahn? Wow. Scary. Look at this. Whoa. 300 kilometers per hour. Wow, what a chase. This is real. Super dangerous doing that. Yeah. Aren't you glad I'm not into that? I don't know what to do with that link. That's a superior link. Dangers in the highway. I'll wrap a turd around your face. Yeah, it'll take you down. A vote for Hillary is a vote for Russia getting Russia's getting uranium mining rights in the U.S. Yeah. Yeah, Hillary would automatically give Russia a free ride here in the U.S. She's already doing dealings with Russia right now. Yeah, she's got a good relationship and rapport with Russia. Putin knows he can manipulate Trump more because Trump is even greedier than Hillary, if you can imagine that. I can do 50 push-ups, I just don't want to. Yeah. I have a low-impact workout schedule that I maintain. So instead of doing high-rep exercises, I do low reps. Oh, I cracked myself up. Dude's a rebel. Totally, dude. No, I don't want war with Russia. I want to appease the Russian government insofar as I want to pull the rebels who are currently getting money from the U.S., I want to pull them out of the region. I don't want Syria being affected by the rebel troops. I have eyelashes and I have eyebrows. Very proud of them. My hair is the same color as my eyebrows, so you can't see them very well, even on a high-definition camera. Do you have a 4K screen? I'll zoom in on my eyebrows for you if you want. See? They're actually kind of bushy. Would you like me to be closer to you? Like really intimate? I think CERN is some sort of an evil plot. Yeah. HARP is definitely being used to modify the weather. Ha ha ha. I'm not gay. Just because you're attracted to me and are secretly masturbating right now, I can't help you with that, man. Yeah, you're messed up. There's something wrong with you. You're in our room sexually harassing me. Go find a boyfriend or something. Just can't believe how these people are being raised. They're like perverts being raised. Thank you. Our Lord and Savior. Wow. I didn't expect that. That's a little bit much, don't you think? Is a universal basic income the answer to the growing lack of jobs? Canada is going to run a trial next year. See, there you have it. Canada is ahead of us. We could be doing what I'm talking about if we just get your act together and tell people about us. Thank you, though. Ontario pilot project puts universal basic income to the test. A lot of people need money. Money is required to buy food and utilities, and I think giving people $400 a month per U.S. citizen is actually pretty good. A family, a mother and father, or two lesbian women could raise their child very comfortably on $800 in a tenement. In a tent, maybe, yeah. Children watching TV in a bedroom that sleeps 7. Child poverty has been a problem in Ontario, despite attempts to tackle it for decades. The Canadian province of Ontario is pushing forward with plans for a trial run of universal basic income. Good. That's about right. Yeah, $25 million pilot project. Pilot project out. Isn't that special? Friday night's okay, Randy. You changed the dimension of it being here. How are you, my man? I don't believe it perpetuates poverty. It keeps people from being in poverty, Billy. Yeah, $400 a month is what you need to survive. Billy, are you living at home with your mom? And does she pay your bills right now? Billy has no idea what it's really like to be in the real world. Billy, tell me, are you stealing $20 bills from your mom's purse to pay for your meth addiction? David, stop with your 30-year-old Santa Night Life joke. We're all younger than it. You mean you no longer laugh when I say, it slices, it dices, it makes mounds and mounds of coleslaw? Wow. Dan Aykroyd, you don't even know who he is. Well, how come you're getting older and I'm not? Can you explain that? David, they're the only married news team in the tri-country. Oh, I guess we are kind of a news team, amazingly. John Podesta, demand the release. Let's demand the release, John Podesta. Please. Join Podesta. What do you mean? I thought John Podesta was the release guy. He was a guy who basically is finagling around as Democratic leader temporarily because somebody got sick. And his emails reveal all kinds of weird stuff, like foreknowledge of the Pulse shooting in Orlando. It looks like a prosecutable offense there. That WikiLeaks looked prosecutable. Like he knew something was going to happen in the Pulse nightclub. A lot of weird things are happening with Podesta, but pay for play and covering for the Clintons, those are all kind of the telltale signs of corruption at the DNC. It's going down, man. So many of you Trump supporters are ecstatic because Trump came out really tough today against Hillary's corruption, saying she should be in jail. I think that Trump is doing a good job with the rhetoric. I'll give him that. He's got to put the heat on this woman because she clearly is violating the law. I would love to be able to, step out there and start screaming and ranting as well, like Donald, but I've been censored for 8 years. So it's hard for me to put a really hard stance on this thing. And I really don't, have the kind of hatred Donald has toward Hillary, simply because I don't believe you should use your Second Amendment against a president. And when he said that, he may very well have violated laws. So we're going to be looking at that too. Urging his supporters to use the Second Amendment if they don't like her. That's pretty out there. And I think a lot of legal experts may be looking at that as a prosecutable offense. Why do people call you discount? It was a term coined by somebody, probably you, who's writing that in the email or in the chat. I am Mr. Frugality. I'll admit it. I do a show on our show every single Thursday. I do a cooking show embedded in our show, and it is pretty much Mr. Frugality. And I'm teaching people how to make a nice meal for $5 for 5 people. My recent one is mummified pork in red couscous, and you can check it out here at this link. Yes, it was my Halloween dinner to end all. It was amazing. I cooked like a Tasmanian devil. I don't think anybody's ever cooked the way I cook. And I have to do it in a time frame. But I teach you how to cook very quickly and not David Gin Sponheim. I love my face too. What do you love about it? How expressive it is? I love that too. I can do a lot of expressions, and I can also reduce my expressions down to a very simple physical body movement, like this. Okay, let's go ahead and do a little music, because I didn't play Can't Stop last night, and I really can't stop playing Can't Stop, because then I would be stopping, wouldn't I? And that can't happen.
We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, we can't stop.
So let's be clear.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Sponheim for president. We can't stop, we can't stop, we can't stop, and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, 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 and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. We can't stop, 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 and we won't stop.
In this coming election year, vote for David Sponheim. America's Third Party.
Alrighty, so we have brand new ways of paying for things like our renewable energy savings bond idea. And we're not trying to take your tax dollars at all. That's the important thing. We just don't want to suck you dry as a taxpayer. By funding the renewable energy savings bonds, you'll be getting a 4% return, which is as good as any 10-year T-bill at Treasury bond. And then, thank you, guest chat is enabled. That is correct. And you will be able to get things off the ground. This is a startup idea that I came up with 10 years ago. Donald Trump stole the idea. I don't have a link to that song. It's kind of, unless Scissorfied does, I don't have that. But this ocean pipeline could very well bring California the water it needs right now. In a time of need, our country has got to come up with new ideas. This is a passive desalination system that does not require any fossil fuel whatsoever to run. It'll produce anywhere from 3 to 10 gallons per container. This is a module that's 10 feet by 11 feet by 7 feet, 7 by 11, 7 wide, 11 long. And the seawater goes in the middle here, and this translucent outside cover is made out of polycarbonate, very thick and very durable. The sun shines in and the water heats up, and you know what happens when that happens? Evaporation. And then what happens is the evaporation goes on the inside of the dome and drips into the side where it creates fresh water. And we store the fresh water in reservoirs and get all that water to people that need it. Farmers, people growing avocado trees, people that are saving their almond trees could get water in California. So Hillary or Donald, they obviously groping for ideas in the tech sector. I was the leader on this idea and the solar rooftop idea. I've had them for 8 to 10 years. Hillary's talking about a solar rooftop. Donald's talking about an ocean dome. I mean, the whole thing is a copy of what we've been doing for 8 years. And since we're censored every single day all over the internet, we need you to help tell everybody about us. So please mention AmericasThirdParty.com to your friends and family and tell them that we've been censored in a country that claims to be free and democratic. So Michael Moore has got an open letter to Ivanka Trump. It's a must read. Really? That's nice. You know, our chat room is full of good people. We've got a few bad seeds in here, but you're one of them, so I had to purge you. I'm not making any gay innuendos. I hope I do, Guest 3632, because I'm a good, honest person that wants to really save the country from obvious greed. With Hillary and Donald at the helm of a country that needs honesty, we've got a real problem. We're not going to get a fix with people that steal ideas. Hey, David Nation, you're in, finally. Yeah. Hard to get in here now, isn't it? You're not a disgusting homo, no. None of you people who are bi-curious, we're not prejudiced against you people, but don't push your homosexuality in the room. It's not appropriate. We're here to talk about politics. The key is fight for humanity, yeah, but don't get sucked into the global New World Order suction device. They got the whole line of crap worked out to where they think that they're going to talk about saving humanity and in the process force feed a new world order or a global new world order. Or one world, one government.
My cute little pirate party is the smallest.
He's the smallest in the parliament. Iceland's pirate party could sail to victory. Really? Let's listen in to Iceland's pirate party. Iceland's got an interesting economic situation where they kicked out all the banks. They prosecuted them for crimes in 2009.
My cute little pirate party is the smallest in the parliament. It is now the most popular party in Iceland.
What's different in the present election is a paradox. You have the Pirate Party, which seems to be heading for a great election with around 20% of the votes, aiming at radical system change.
Okay. Pirates are taking over Iceland. Wow, news at 11. I would never do a impersonation of a black person just to do an impersonation of a black person. Yeah, don't use the N-word here. I've never said a racial slur in my life. I am 100% heterosexual. You guys are running your mouth off a little bit too much over there. Let me show you my blackface impersonation video of Barack Obama I did in 2000 and I guess 8. Yeah, the original was done in 2008. Sure. One of the reasons why I did it is I didn't have any representation, and I still don't have any representation out there. The world would rather have pictures of people that are, funny and ditzy looking. So I decided to do a blackface video, which got, this look didn't cut it for me. I couldn't have gone out there and said, oh yeah, this is Dave. I'm a cab driver and in one of a number of videos. But no, I had to actually do something out of the box, and I realized that it was necessary. And I'm proud I did it because it really represents freedom of speech. Other people have done blackface. A recent fine model has done blackface. It's not something that is unheard of in a world where free speech is legal. Now, she's a very beautiful white woman who did a blackface. I don't know her name, but... So I did this video in 2008. No, this is me. And the video went viral around the world and is played in discotheques in the background. And it's one of the ways I've been able to bridge past the censorship. I am famous, yes, I am. One of the ways I've been able to bridge past the censorship that was created by our two-party system, controlled by the elitists. I knew that they were going to stop me at every turn, and they still are. And we're still amazingly receiving tons and tons of good, positive reviews from people around the world. In no way am I trying to make fun of black people. I merely had to impersonate a bad president. And Obama's proven to be a bad president. He put together a plan called Obamacare, which is now costing everybody over 30% increases in rates. And they're going to be doubling the penalty to $5,000 if you don't pay. So, the whole thing is upside down. A Georgia voting machine suspected of flipping presidential votes is in the news. There's a lot of these things going on in our election right now. Machines are rigged. The Diebold voting system is totally rigged. And in that way, I've been saying that for years, and Donald is now saying that the system is rigged. So he's saying what I've been saying for years. The Georgia Secretary of State was open an investigation of the incident. The machine was one of 8 in operation for early voting. At least 20 people had previously used the machine that day. Yeah. A voter who experienced a problem during early voting contacted the agency saying it took 3 times Tuesday on a machine at the county's administration complex before it correctly recorded his choice of Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. Yeah. A lot of cheating is going on in this election. It's just massive. I don't know if that was Bagface. That was me. Oh, I dated her or something. I met a woman like that. I am, well, they all say Norwegian men are pretty Pretty big, yeah. That's what they say. And why are we being directed to the Navy.mil, Drag King? Dave, some people will use Fed notes to buy your T-bills, and you'll dissolve the Fed, and what happens then? Aside from the global economic shunning, oh, we're going to take over the existing dollars that the Fed currently has. We're not going to in any way get rid of the denominations. Everything you have in your pocket will be good. But I may introduce another denomination of a bill as an alternative to shrink the amount of real currency. One thing that I've talked about, and I'd like to talk to economists about it, but introducing like a $150 bill. And you see all these drug dealers start to sweat when you realize you're going to be introducing $150. Yeah, and we're going to back it with oil, liquid hydrogen, gold, and silver. So it'll be a back bill, whereas the rest of the currency will just be floating fiat currency. I look like the milkman, really? I don't want to talk about Michael Moore, so I'm going to not talk about that. Is there a picture, a generic picture of a milkman? Yeah, there you go. So you're saying I look like the milkman? I can see the resemblance. Wow. You guys really have to get banned. We need to get rid of the negative forces in the show. Unfortunately, guys, we were in slow on, and I never put this on. They started censoring me on this network. I'm going to put slow off and let it go even faster. I can do whatever I want if the government really is in trouble, and we're seeing problems with a declining dollar, but we've never seen any problems with that. Our dollar is rock solid. I'm only saying as a last resort we would do something like that. But when you said, oh, well, you're getting rid of the Fed, you want to get rid of the currency? No, of course not. All the currency will be good as gold. Well, not quite, not literally. I wouldn't doubt Trump's going to start a cooking show, yeah. Well, my cooking show is rock solid in every way. You didn't know the dollar was rock solid? Or what are you are of the belief that the money is worthless? Worthless? Try telling that to your Best Buy salesperson when you walk in there with $500 in cash. No, I would never drop out of the race. I'm just getting started. The write-in numbers are going to be so big in our test states that I'm going to be prosecuting, or rather, we're going to put together a lawsuit against all the states that are not honoring our write-in candidacy. That's my goal. If one of my test states shows that we have the predominant number of popular votes, you can definitely count on a lawsuit in 35 other states. Okay, a comparison between me and Ray Walston, the My Favorite Martians guy. We can do that. The nice thing about being artificial intelligence, I can bring up any image within a nanosecond of it coming up in chat. You didn't think that My Favorite Martian would be an artificial intelligent creature, did you? You didn't even know in the 1960s that My Favorite Martian would be AI. I must say I have more hair than Ray Walston did. But actually, I think we need to evacuate the house in order to realize that our space vehicle is going to be discovered in the back of the garage. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah. Number one. I like stuff just said. The Barack Obama sensationally told CNN Wolf Blitzer that he will not vacate the Oval Office if Donald Trump is elected 45th President of the United States. The current president claims he is fully prepared to ignore the popular vote if it means stopping Trump, having found that he believes is a little known loop. What he believes is a little known loophole. I don't know. Not evacuating the office. You're telling me that the SWAT team is going to have to pull Barack Obama out? Well, maybe Trump might just go back to his original idea, which was my idea for 8 years, that Barack Obama is a Kenyan, and just charge him with a fraud charges and put the SWAT team on him. Seriously. I mean, you know what really shocked me about Donald Trump is he won't go all the way. He won't just say flat out that he thinks that Barack Obama is an illegal alien. I mean, that's what we thought he was running on, and then he flipped, total flip, and that's when I knew he was totally establishment, Donald Trump. Wow, it's like we're in slow motion here. The Dow and the gold, the silver is all the same as it always is, same as it ever was, same as it ever was. I have never been involved in Kosovo. I have no knowledge of Kosovo. I'll take a lie detector test on that. If you can't read this, you're an idiot. Well, I guess I'm not an idiot. Thanks. A clever little tool you're using there. You're smart. No, I've never been into Kosovo. Why am I speaking with that accent? That's weird. Okay. I thought it was Borat. Not. You're just a gypsy temptress trying to trick me. The Iran deal is a terrible deal. I wouldn't trade money for hostages. No way. That's negotiating with terrorists. Barack Obama has made a terrible move with Iran. Giving Iran the ability to have a nuclear weapon within a year, and they could have one right now, we can't control it, was a big mistake. And then giving them $155 billion in cash and credit. That was a huge mistake too. So we got a lot of huge mistakes to get rid of. Of course I believe in God. David Nation. He never kissed me. I never had a man kiss me. Yeah, the guy was my friend. I told you about it. We went to his apartment, and he sat next to me, and he put his hand on my leg, and I said, Sarah, could you please sit between us? Yeah, I told you that. That's all that happened. And then I started thinking, gee, should I get a motel somewhere? I mean, I got to get the hell out of here. It was weird. Haven't been back since. He says something not quite right with him. I still get calls from him every once in a while. He's like, how you doing, Dave? I love you, man. You're so great, man. I love you. It's nice to talk to him when he's in that condition. He forgets he calls me. Funny picture. This is hilarious. A little paste-up action with the Queen herself, not looking happy about the Brexit. Your friend said his dad gave him the tongue? Are you serious? That is freaky. Well, I should add everybody on the show. He can't call me, actually. I asked him to call once, and he said he can't because his job is in jeopardy. If they find out that he has a personality and a real life, he could lose his corporate job. Some people are deathly afraid of being online, you know. They just realize that if they're online, they're seen in their corporation, they'll get fired. Yeah. Okay, we've got
Now you know she's very much against the Second Amendment. She wants to destroy your Second Amendment. Guns, right? I think what we should do is she goes around with armed bodyguards like you've never.
We'll put that on hold for a little while. No, I don't. Do I have any symptoms of AIDS? No. Yeah, I'm in great shape. I couldn't be in better shape for my age. I'm 155 years old. 156 years old. I'm sorry, I'm 56 years old. Missed it by 100. Missed it by that much. I'm 156 years old. Yeah, you had to double check on that, right? Yeah. Yes, Mad Dog has often been called upon to comfort atheists when they have lost a loved one. It's very hard on the atheists. Mad Dog works in a mortuary, and the atheists really don't understand that, you know, there could be a greater happening for all of us in another world. But I'm not here to talk religion. No, I cannot give you anything other than $400 per U.S. adult per month. So Donald Trump suggested today the election should be canceled, called for him. While speaking in Ohio, the Republican presidential nominee questioned why an election was even being held, saying the Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton's policies are so bad. Why even have an election? Just appoint him as the supreme dictator. See, he's acting more like Hitler. You know, Hitler was never elected, you know. Adolf Hitler was appointed Chancellor of Germany. I'm not kidding. He was never elected by popular vote. And I'm not into Adolf Hitler like Donald Trump is. He used to read Adolf Hitler's speeches when he went to bed, when he was living with his ex-wife, Ivana. Came out of the deposition. You heard me right. I've always used condoms, yep. But I've never had gay sex. You know, the whole thing about a lot of people is that they've taken sex to the extreme in their life. They feel that 20 seconds of pleasure in their life that they might get once in a while. Thank you. Hey, I'm number one. Thank you. Well, if you get sex in your life on a regular basis, good for you. But most people, you know, have that constant need for that moment of pleasure. And it's kind of ironic in a way because there's so many other things to be enjoying in life. Like fondling your earlobe. Sorry. Our political system is everything like pre-World War II Germany. Many parties were present during that time period, but we have a multitude of players in this competition, much like they had parties in Germany. They had 17 parties during that time period. But we have a lot of personalities in our public race. And we've been seeing National Socialism with Obamacare. That's exactly what Hitler did. He gave certain key players greater authority over other corporations, and smaller companies couldn't compete and they fell apart, just like what's happening in America. The national plan to create a Department of Homeland Security ironically had its roots in Nazi Germany. In fact, our leaders at the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, contacted Marcus Wolf, the head of the East German Stasi, in 2005 for consulting. Our nation has been working hand in hand with the very element of the Nazis way back in the 1930s. So for you to say there's no element of the pre-World War II Nazi Germany in America, you must be absolutely blind. I think Hitler was gay, yeah. Trudeau is obviously, you know, he's weak-minded. He seems to be sucked into the New World Order vortex. Trudeau's doing whatever his henchmen tell him to do, it seems. I'd be completely independent of that. I'll be your man. I'll answer to the American people. Whatever 2/3 of this country want, I will do. That's my commitment to you. We will subtract troops from the Middle East. That's another promise I'm making to you. We will also downsize our existing military budget by as much as 50%, leaning more on automated, intelligent, unmanned vehicles, but without giving artificial intelligence supreme reign over our operational forces. We need certain safeguards to protect the future of our people and not give cybernetics so much authority, and not give local law enforcement all these SWAT police vehicles and HRAPs and MRAPs and all these things. That's a huge mistake that happened under Obama. He's virtually violating posse comitatus, and they're allowing our army to operate within the confines of its own cities. That's wrong. Another black swan hits the U.S. presidential election. By now, everybody's heard of Hillary Clinton's reopening, the FBI reopening the email investigation. Here's the text of the FBI head James Comey's letter to the congressional leaders. Let's see, zoom in on this. Honorable Richard Ember. Dear Mr. Chairman, in previous congressional testimony, I referred to the fact that the Federal Bureau of Investigation had completed the investigation of former Secretary Clinton's personal email server. Due to recent developments, I'm writing to supplement my previous testimony. In connection with an unrelated case, the FBI has learned of the existence of emails that appear to be pertinent to the investigation. I'm writing to inform you that the investigation team briefed me on this yesterday, and I agreed that the FBI should take appropriate investigative steps designed to allow investigators to review these emails to determine whether they contain classified information, as well as to assess their importance to our investigation. Although the FBI cannot yet assess whether or not this material may be significant, and I cannot predict how long it will take us to complete the additional work, I believe it is important to update your committees about our efforts in light of my previous testimony. Well, this is one slippery guy, I'll tell you. I think he knows that he may be riding a sinking ship. If he got any kind of payback from the Clintons through favor or something, then this is either an elaborate play by James Comey to cover his ass, or it could lead to something real substantive as we get closer to the election. I don't trust the guy. I think he's just throwing up a little red flag or a smokescreen to kind of give Hillary a little bump, because I think personally that the leaders are a little bit overwhelmed by how Trump is dismantling the Republican Party, and many of them are worried about the Republicans losing the Senate control in this election. The Republicans are very close to losing the Senate now. And I almost think that this little bone against Hillary is not going to materialize into anything really big, because remember, she's still ahead by 4 points over Trump across the nation. But without any substantive meaning to this real event, unless we see a letter saying that she was involved or complicit in the death of Chris Stevens, then this is just a non-issue or a moot point, and it makes Jim Comey look good. It helps the Republicans retain the Senate seat, and I think it's just a ploy. I don't believe it. All right, let Sarah take over. Thank you. Thank y'all for listening to my show up to this point. I'll be back for a later briefing.
Thank you, 732.
We are watching from Cali, about 1900. Outstanding. Wow, 732. California, they're very concerned about the country, and I know that the water issue is super important, and if we don't come up with a real tangible solution, we won't have enough time to deal with the drought. People are taking showers in spritzy water, and they're really, very frustrated. No lawns out there to speak of. And I really believe all of this is being artificially engineered. And the two parties refuse to address issues like the chemtrails. Everything's great. Yeah, we're just kind of enjoying our evening with you. Otherwise, we'll be watching Netflix and chilling right now.
Thank you. Thank you, 347. No, everything is perfectly great with me. I'm not annoyed. I'm actually very happy. Thanks, 187. We are a lovely couple. All right. Well, you can do a Budweiser and chill. I don't drink, so I won't do that. How about that? You love my facial expressions. I know some people say I just have some weird facial expressions. Why do I frown upon having kids? Let me get this straight, Mad Dog. I like people having kids, especially the right people having kids. I think it's fantastic. I think some people make great parents. I'm sure I would be a good mom. I just feel like I'm a bit busy at this time to be a good mom, to dedicate the time that a one child would need. And so I like to help other people's children as much as I can. But I like to help the community that exists now. that already exists rather than me having a child. Does it ever feel odd talking to people through a screen you can't see? Yes, it does feel a little odd, Billy, I have to say. I would love to see some of you, and in a way it's a little odd, and in another way it's a little freeing, because it's just, you know, a sea of endless faces, and so it's like, I guess it just doesn't matter too much. So, oh, 741, I'm so sorry. Sarah, have kids, the world needs more beautiful women. Thank you. Well, I have thought about having my eggs frozen if someone was willing to pay for that to happen, so that someone could use my eggs down the road, even though they probably won't. I get to imagine what you all look like, which may be better or may be worse than what you actually look like. But it's pretty cool. Well, with the right person, I love it. I love being with David 645. All right. Oh, all of those are water. What's the non-water one? 194. Maybe 417, but really? Don't you think there's other people you'd rather look at than me? Oh, whatever. I didn't think you looked like you do, Morgoth. How about that? You're an okay looking person. You're good looking. I don't know. I don't know. But I didn't think you necessarily look like you do. But it was nice meeting you. How about that? Thank you very much, Mad Dog, but I probably won't. Can I do it from afar? Can you just put my name in the hat? See what happens? Guest 645. Okay. A gymnast retired to yoga. Yoga? What's yoga? Abnormal? You're compared to Christian Slater quite often in looks and speaking voice. He would be my second celebrity crush would be Christian Slater. So. No, 282. I'm totally dedicated to David. Great questions coming in tonight. I've just got to say that. David's roasted pork was quite good. The bacon wasn't that crispy, but it was really good. You want to run in the woods in your underwear. Okay. What is... Oh, something like yogurt. You sound like a gymnast retired to yogurt. I'm trying to figure that one out. Okay. I'll just laugh like Morgoth is. Like, okay. So you and David live in separate places, right, Sarah? No, not right. $390, where do you live that you're calling me a loser because of where I live? You stand at a bridge and ask, what is your quest? My quest is to elect David Sponheim President of the United States. If you can make someone smile, your day is complete. I love that. I know, he likes his smacking spoons. Well, you seem like you have everything spelled correctly, but you just need to change that word good to well. I never learned to spell well. I have not had any kind of surgeries, like, at least with those, no. All right. I'm sorry, yes, I do believe in grammar just a little bit. AR in America. Sarah, how come David and you are not libertarians? Because David wants to be the master of his own party. That would be a great idea, John Uncaged. You better start drawing. Start drawing David. That is true, 740. Did I tell you that at some point? And you write down all these little tidbits about me? But that's actually true. Good actually does fit, and great is even better. No, he just dropped something. He didn't fall. Trust me, I would know if David fell. At 6:30 a.m. When do you rise? Or earlier. David Nation, hi. Sorry I didn't say hi to you. So I guess I don't look like an early riser to you if you wake up at 6 a.m. Is that on the weekends as well? Ooh, I like that, Morgoth. You said something I actually like. Enough with the limitation of ideas. According to party marginalization, there shouldn't be any parties, just ideas. And you go to bed at 2 a.m., you only get 4 hours of sleep a night. Oh, that's not good. No, I haven't hurt any insects lately. Well, do fruit flies count? Actually, you can't kill them. They just like spawn and spawn and spawn. You can want to do that, 390, all you want, but it's not going to happen. Can I play this short video? I can save it for later. I can't play it while I'm actually broadcasting on YouTube. Wait, my thing won't let me go up. Can you post it again? I forgot to click on it. You go to sleep at 4 a.m. and you wake up around dinner time? Do you work the graveyard shift? If you don't currently, you might want to consider it. Yes, exactly, 740. Alright, thanks, Striking. Alright, I'm going to save it for later. No, I haven't seen you on cam. I thought I've actually met you in person. Have I not met you in person? I did meet someone in person. I met a couple people in person. No? Okay, sorry, Morgoth. I had you confused with someone else then. 383's like, who? You love the green color? No, well, yeah, David's ambition to become U.S. president requires a, 24/7 time scale. But he has a 5 to 9? 5 to 10? I don't know. He has his time scale. If David Sponheim did become presidents, it would be fantastic. I would start working for the American people every single day, doing amazing things, telling people what to do. All right. No, teaching requires way more than a 9 to 5 time scale. At least during the school year. During the summer it doesn't, but during the school year it does. But basically teachers, all the time they get off in the summer, they just work those 40 hours during the school year. So they work like 60-hour weeks. And then that's, by the time summer comes around, they definitely deserve the breaks. One, he wants to give $400 a month to every U.S. adult citizen by reforming welfare. And two, he's not a typical politician. He's an average American like you. 2 reasons you should vote for David. No, I don't think it should be being president telling people what not to do. No, I think it's more like suggesting, hey, can you help me with this so that we can accomplish that? And can you help me with this so we can get this done? And here's what I want this to look like. Make it happen. Yeah, schools overload teachers with homework, and then teachers feel like they should overload students with homework. It's a not a way to win, I guess. Public schools are overclassed. What do you mean overclassed? Yeah, you do have to work. Why shouldn't you work for the NSA? Oh, you just don't like what the NSA represents these days? Maybe you could help it change from the inside. Well, maybe high school students, but not elementary students. 444. Youngers. Younger kids. Yeah, but it's I think it's changed a lot, John. I think it has changed a lot. Holy moly, I have a lot of... Oh. Okay. Okay. Alright, that one's fine. Okay. Teaching kids is painful. You'd rather visit the dentist? I have my dental appointment Monday. I'm looking forward to it. Math. I really... And science. Actually, I love science. Science is like a true passion. And then my second favorite subject is math. I guess math and science go hand in hand, really. So, it's really fun. Well, have you spent a day in kindergarten? Go volunteer at your local school. Just one day, John. Just one day. All day. Go on a field trip with them. Yeah, science is real. It matches math. It's pretty fun. Math and music go hand in hand. Pretty true.
No, Paul, I have never been invited to an official political debate. I've been censored for 8 years, so I don't think they're going to want to have me debate.
Alright, yeah, David would have too many great ideas. They don't want that. They want someone they can control.
I cannot be controlled. Please mute 389. Thank you.
I'm working on it. I had to mute someone else first.
Oh, okay.
You see, it's like, I don't know, is it this mouse or something? See,
No, it's actually their system. It's not fast enough. We're getting slammed with people trying to get in their chat room. They've been censoring and keeping the numbers down artificially, but the numbers are in the thousands that want to get in here every night, and we're very sorry that we can't give you an alternative chat room to get into. We're waiting for the blogtv.ca to open up, so we're hoping that's a good network. I'll take it from here.
Okay.
I can psychically zap them and mute them. This place is not popular. You keep getting in. What? You must be in the United States, right? 962. Are you in the United States or in UK? UK can get in pretty quick. Asia has a problem getting in. They have a hard time getting in here. Well, I don't know. blogtv.ca doesn't seem like it's that great.
Oh, goodness.
I didn't really like their interface. I mean, we had the launch, we did, and we didn't really try it out, but we'll see what happens with it. Get rid of that.
Oh, he wants you to play this video.
Okay, sure. You've got audio of Hillary getting on a plane. Great. We'll take a look at that. You know, there's so much stuff about Hillary and Donald that is garbage and really makes us dislike the candidates. 75% of us don't trust either one of us, or either one of them. Either one of us. Either one of them. 75% do not trust Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. Thank you, Sarah.
We'll talk about Fukushima in detail.
Let's talk about Fukushima. Yeah, I would like to troubleshoot Fukushima. Nobody in the country talks about Fukushima. Thank you, Sarah.
You ate some dinner, right?
Yeah, I had my dinner. I just left a half potato on the stove. If you want calcium or anything. Potassium. Yeah, I talk in detail about Fukushima all the time. Let's start with Fukushima itself and what I think we should do. Now, I've waited a long time for things to happen, and I voted, by the way. I wrote my name in. Wow, things are really going slow. Hold on. Too much stuff is going on inside of the chat room here. I have to take a break for a little bit of music and just to check to see what's going on here. And if we don't get somebody out there with a vocal cord to scream for decency and truth and honesty in government, then we're screwed. So I really believe that Comey is really, I don't know, it is something a little bit loose about his whole story. If he's trying to cover his proverbial butt by pretending like he's opening up the case now, he's doing it at a very inopportune time. Dance. James Comey, not David Bowie. Are you thinking I was talking about David Bowie? Yeah. Well, he died. Or did he? I don't know. I think Bowie's still alive myself. Show the letter again, please, David. Yes, Mad Dog, of course. Hold on, please. Here is the letter from James Comey, specifically stating that he is now opening the case on the Hillary emails. But is this too little too late? Does Hillary, with a 4-point lead, have the control of the future of our country in her little clutchy, greedy hands? I don't know. You got me. Say something. You voted leave. Okay, thank you. Boy, YouTube really has declined in the years. I remember when you used to go on YouTube and have a good conversation. Dave, I went to join your party. How can I? I'm in Nebraska. Well, you just go to our volunteer page at America's Third Party and just click volunteer and add your name and address, and we'll add you to the list of people in that state. And you'll automatically be an elector in that state, in Nebraska. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. And you're voting for me. Excellent. I know. You've been in here for a few nights, guess 749. Thank you. iVlogger. And I can't, Sarah was saying, Dave, you really need to do iVlog. I kind of gave up on iVlog a couple days, and I'm back at it now. I'm going to give it another shot. What makes you think that we don't let IBM Watson review the emails, evil banker? It's pretty funny. Watson would find all of the specific data within seconds. You're right. I don't think the FBI is that on top of it technologically. You know why I believe that? Remember when they said that they absolutely wanted Apple to reveal its encryption software so that they could unravel a mobile text message that they had in a deposition? Yeah, and they dropped the charges against Apple. And ironically, Trump said boycott Apple, and Apple's the only company in America that's really made revenue. I mean, not one of the only ones that's made revenue from products, unlike Donald Trump. Anyway, the FBI kind of mishandled that whole affair, and I think that they didn't really know how to hack into a mobile device. So I think after a few discussions with some experts, they realized, oh wow, we could just work around that and not have to file a lawsuit against Apple. But I think that the FBI is kind of a day late and a dollar short on a lot of issues. When you look at the pipeline of bureaucracy and how the Peter Principle applies to bureaucratic positions, the Peter Principle states that people will achieve the highest level of their own incompetence. And that pretty much plays out in the FBI, in my opinion. Yeah. More, you sound dumb to us originals. Go away. Some of you are really kind of lost there. My opinion of Comey is that he has an unusual amount of money in his bank account. That is a telltale sign of corruption at the highest level. I like to keep very little money in bank accounts. That way, I don't collect donations on the side or anything like that. I don't do that. Whatever goes into our bank account is what little we get. And it's all been documented. And quarterly reports reveal that we've been 100% FEC compliant since we started. I don't know if this, two things can happen, 163. If Bill had an affair with a 13-year-old and something came out in the next couple days about that, that would be the end of the Hillary campaign, possibly. But the numbers still are leaning her way 4 points in advance of Trump. If the corruption charges pop up and she's complicit in something, and these emails do show something substantive in the next couple days, that could be the end of Hillary. I don't think either one is going to happen. I think they have too much invested in Hillary. I think this recent email by Jim Comey really is just him covering his ass and trying to buy some time and pretending like he's concerned. And we're all going, why don't you do your job? It's now Wienergate. It morphed from Gropegate to Wienergate. That's my take on it, 163, yeah. I'm not really... we would have seen something from Julian Assange. I think he's a player who's squeezed between a couple different people. He probably is going to face rape charges if he doesn't do what they tell him to do. I think WikiLeaks has been compromised, and Anonymous has been compromised by our own government. So we have to weed through the information and disinformation to come up with answers now. Dave, if I log in here tomorrow and you still bashing Trump, Conduit is closed for you. Well, dude, I got news for you. I don't need your Conduit. Stick your Conduit up your ass and rotate it. Yeah, I don't need you, buddy. I'm building my own alliances outside of your stupid censored mainstream media. Take your Conduit and shove it. I would never do that, no. That's just an outright ridiculous statement people are saying. Yeah, stick with the sun don't shine. So having generated my own Conduit with this amazing impersonation video I did, and I did another one 2 years ago, 2014, called Blackface 2, and my amazing dancing ability, which is now world-renowned, I've always felt that I had some sort of a strange rhythm for a white guy. And people are saying, man, this guy can move, man. I can't get over the dance moves he's got. So, you know, we're trying to break through the BS and political correctness of the Hillary Clinton Marxist Association. Democrats don't amount to that many people, really, when you look at it. I mean, how many limousine liberal, white guilt Jewish men and women are there in the country? 3% of our population. They're not the ones deciding this. The ones that are deciding this are the ones that vote like their party every single year, and they just won't break out of that mold. Those are the ones that are starting to, you know, get a little wake-up call at what's wrong here. Something's wrong with this picture. We're being forced into one or the other categories, Democrat or Republican. Hillary definitely could face charges on a number of issues, not to mention a history of people dying around the Clintons. The body count, 115 people on the body count. I'll give you the YouTube address of my blackface videos, but our YouTube address is on our website, but you got to go to the old site to get it, actually. You just go to our website, America's Third Party, and click the old site, and then you're there. But anyway, my address is this. Your subscription won't mount to, you won't see the number change. I've been censored for the past 6 years on YouTube. So when you go to David John Sponheim's YouTube account, you won't see the subscriber rate change. Plus, our subscriber rate at America's Third Party's YouTube has not changed in 6 years. So the technical possibility of a subscriber rate not changing in 6 years is zero. So that's why we know, along with other factors, that we are being completely censored. All right. I understand blogtv.ca, but I'm not really sure what you say is logic. Logically, they seem like airware to me. I agree with you. They seem like vaporware. I'm still holding out hope that they'll come out with something. You don't have a new channel on YouTube channel? No, we've got 2 YouTube channels, America's Third Party and David John Sponheim. Yeah, that's what's happening. Why does the media not acknowledge that Obama is a crack smoker? The media has been controlled ever since Obama took office. The mainstream media, and like I said, we've been censored for 6 or more years. No, we're being censored rapidly. Morgoth, if you could step outside of the box and look at the metrics that Vaughn has, and from Mark's perspective, Vaughn is paying a huge premium for the bandwidth that we're taking up. And they're limiting the number of people that can come in here every night. How is the crazy train this evening? I don't know what you mean. What crazy train? Best of your knowledge, what jobs has Obama created? Censor jobs? Running around with the census? The census jobs. Yeah, and he hired a bunch of illegal aliens to do translations for the refugees coming into the border in San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, he hired a bunch of illegal aliens to do it. Yeah, they had to have translators, so they hired illegal aliens to translate for the refugee children. And we're going to be seeing another 58,000 refugee children this month. Last year, it was 72,000 refugee children. And he's looking at 187,000 refugees, and so is Hillary, coming into the country and integrated into various states. This state is one of them, Washington. Yeah. I know, he was born in Kenya, and I urge you not to vote for Donald Trump because he flipped on the whole birther issue. I'm solid on believing wholeheartedly that Barack Obama is indeed a Kenyan, and I will prosecute Barack Obama. Absolutely. He is destroying policy, world policy as well. And the people that got him elected essentially are working on a plan that they're not really sure of. They want to somehow trigger a violent encounter with Russia to show their weakness, Russia's weakness, to gain the upper hand on Russia. And I really think that they're just waiting around, seeding economic hits in countries like Ukraine and Syria. And we'll talk about that tomorrow night for our anti-war rally, by the way, starting at 5. But I think Barack Obama is just the puppet for these elitists at the IMF and the World Bank who really do the bidding of the Rothschild family, the people that really run the monetary system. They own our Federal Reserve. The Rothschilds own another 160 banks around the world. And they have complete power and control, and money buys power and control in politics. So if you do the math, money buys power. Some people with unlimited cash flow can buy all the power. So those are the ones really pulling the strings in Washington right now. Because we've completely untethered from what the Constitution put forth as a representative democracy. We're no more of democracy than the man on the moon at this point. We're a corporatocracy. You've got cancer, Mr. Bellows? I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, thank you for telling us about that. Is this being streamed on your YouTube live channel? Yes, it is. I can give you a link. Here it is. Oh, it's an internal link. Sorry. I don't have the external link. Sorry about that. Dissolve the Fed? Yeah. Piss off the Rothschilds? Yeah, we can do that. We can actually create an infrastructure bank. Yeah, of course I want to piss off the Rothschilds. Do you really think that the Illuminati or the New World Order or whoever these people are who think they're running the destiny of this planet are gonna just roll over and allow somebody to take away the one thing they need to control their destiny, a police force, the American country? Our nation is being used as a resource by these people. We're being harvested we're the police force for our 911 service around the world. So they're going to be really, really pissed off. Okay, this is the headlines of the Clinton News Network. Clinton wants answers. Can you believe they're putting on this investigation? Yeah. Well, what else is she going to do? Well, yeah, the Zionists really are a big threat. I'm not ever going to take money from AIPAC, ever. No way. Here's advanced settings. Let me go there. Thank you for sharing your viewpoints, though, and your problems with your body parts. But I don't think that's relevant. Wrong. I've got one person watching over there. Huh. I just don't know how to get the site, the HTTP on that YouTube thing. David isn't left, but doesn't make him right. No, I'm a centrist. Decision time. I'm a right in the middle of the political spectrum. Politics for dummies. Yeah, Hillary wants answers. You've got questions, we've got answers. Radio Shack. Well, the channel name is America's Third Party. That's the point. Yeah, DT Laura is feeling sad for somebody who lost someone dear to them. Yeah, it's tough. No, I'm a centrist. I really am. The 1,000-mile fence idea was my idea, and I'm more than willing to talk about it with you if you want. I mean, we can pull down the ocean pipeline, but I was getting to the Fukushima crisis when you rudely interrupted me. So I'm going to dedicate the next half an hour to the Fukushima crisis in Japan. Not a lot has been said about this. Yeah, thank you. And here you thought I forgot all about it. The area of Fukushima has dramatically been decimated. The spent fuel rods that were in reactor number 4 are now in a puddle below the reactor vessel. So if you look at the thank you. It's a guy named Fairwinds that did a pretty good job of analyzing the reactor vessels. You're looking at carnage beyond belief and no way of moving that material. And what that material is a combination of uranium, cesium, and a variety of other plutoniums, etc. So they call it corium because the core has melted down. Now, being it has melted down, we're left with only a couple of options, and that is to steer the water that's coming down from Mount Fukushima away from the reactor. And this should be the high priority right now for TEPCO, because they're 4 years into this and the refrigeration unit that they just installed is leaking. So they're having problems with the refrigeration unit. But what I want to do is rather unusual, and I'm the only person who has an idea for this that I've talked to. The area around the reactor vessels, I want to dig a massive trench using robotic equipment around the reactors. The reactors are right in the center here. And by digging a trench around the outside, we automatically prevent water from going downhill into Fukushima Bay. But what I want to do is also block this opening right here with a aircraft carrier that we still have in wet dock, by the way. The USS Forrestal, which, by the way, Mad Dog he served on the USS Forrestal in the Navy. So that thing is actually still in wet dock. We could tug it over there and dunk it, now that they've stripped almost everything off of it. But anyway, the trench is designed to divert water. Makes sense. I mean, there's no way that they can divert it any other way, so it's a perfect idea. And plus, we need a lot of that dirt for this, and I'll show you what I'm going to develop here as I play the video for you. Okay, so if we build a mound on top of the, a carapace on top of the reactor number 4, we will automatically lock in a lot of that radiation. And we can set up tunnels underneath it that could be accessible by vehicle, robotic vehicle, to access the underground area and dig. And virtually mine, like a tunnel right here, virtually mine the... that looks pretty bizarre. Mine the uranium and the corium out of the base of this large mound. The mound is designed to keep it from blowing steam up in the atmosphere. See, every time it rains in Japan, every time, it automatically sends gamma rays into the atmosphere and steam develops with other irradiated material with the steam that can carry it in the wind. So we've been getting a downdrift of radiation that's 233 times normal on average across our nation. This puts all of us in danger. This isn't funny. I'm sorry. This is really serious. So building a fast breeder reactor would solve the problem. Having the forest hill parked right there at the bay with a firewall or a water wall, a lot of the water that's irradiated could actually be brought back toward the reactor as well, and we could do some recycling. But basically, we're clogging a 6 swimming pool a day leak that's going into the ocean, basically. That's what we're doing. And we need to do this if we want to maintain safety and security for the future of the Pacific Ocean. The vessel that we're looking at here that was created artistically by this man, it's pretty accurate. It's destroyed almost completely.
Come from inside the nuclear reactor. It would have had to go through the containment and through a very circuitous path. So to my mind, it's very unlikely that that fuel would be found outside the reactor. We do know that very high sources were covered up with bulldozers early on after the accident and are likely still there. Now, what will they do with Unit 3? It has fuel in the fuel pool. Eventually, it's going to have to be emptied. But the radiation exposures are so high that that personnel access is really, really limited.
Robots were put together to send in, and they were completely melting down. Campaign's going great there, buddy. The show started at 5 o'clock. You're a little late. Would you just go bar hopping? Yeah, Mr. Cool is out bar hopping at how old are you now? 70? Okay. I saw some guy in front of a Starbucks the other day, and he's like a 70-year-old biker. It was just, he literally was the face of the hippie period. He still lived the whole hippie thing, and I thought that was great. Right down to the cigarette. Living the life. Living large. Living large, buddy. Living large. Isn't that what you told me you did? Live large? I heard that Madonna is giving away blowjobs for people who vote for Hillary. Thank you. Thanks for recognizing how young I look. And thin, by the way. Yeah, this story was almost too weird to even go to, but I gotta play it. It's Friday night. I mean, she's definitely over the top. I guess getting older really creates kind of a... Snopes is asking, did she say it? Let's take a look. I know a lot of you respect Snopes because you're still in your mind thinking that they're accurate, so I play it, but I don't think they're really that unbiased. Some people missed the singer's risque comment. It was jokingly made as part of her introduction of a comedian. Oh, okay. She was introducing a comedian. Okay. It's funny how no one really understood that, except now. Snopes understood that. What was she thinking? What was her agent thinking? Okay, Madonna, you're going to go out and offer everybody a blowjob who votes for Hillary Clinton. I mean, that's just sick. That's just nasty. I guess she revived her image. I mean, it's probably a big, huge plus for her, for a big, huge... It's not easy for an older pop star to retain her... How old is she, 80 now? I'm global. Ignore the 87 view count, yeah. 84 view count, yeah. People don't want to talk about blowjobs. We're being censored right now. Oh, the FBI is going to pretend like they're going to open the case up. It turns out Anthony Weiner had some weird emails that they've been researching and that might implicate Hillary. Okay, here it is. 56 seconds, it'll change your life forever.
Anyway, so I better get off now because someone insanely funny is about to get on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, one more thing before I introduce this genius of comedy. If you vote for Hillary Clinton, I will give you a blowjob. Okay? Swear to God.
Now me, I stand up here.
And I am good. I'm good. I'm not a douche and I'm not a tool. I take my time. I have a lot of eye contact. Yeah. And I do swallow. Yeah.
I'm not looking at notes. I'm not reading teleprompters.
Anyway,
Not easy. Not easy.
So I better get off now because...
But, remember, and if I make one mistake, a little, he mentioned something wrong, got the wrong date, it's like headlines all over. She can say, she short-circuited up here. I don't want a president who short-circuits. Is that okay? I don't want it. I don't want a president short-circuit. We've got to deal with ISIS. We've got to deal with China. We've got to deal with lots of people.
Now, I want to clarify that I am not laughing at Trump or with Trump. I'm laughing at the skit called Sassy Trump. And this is on the internet. It's called Sassy Trump. I was being sarcastic. Look it up.
They're not short-circuiting, but I don't want somebody who short-circuits. So let me just tell you. Over the last little one, every time, it's always a big deal. When I said that, Obama. And of course I'm being sarcastic. They know that. Because after I said that, I said he's the MVP, he's going to collect his MVP award. Okay. So I said, Obama is the founder of ISIS. Right? The founder. And these dishonest media people, the most dishonest people, they said,
Yeah, this guy is hilarious. I mean, he just puts it on, and you got to respect his work. Peter Serafinovich, good job, buddy, but I don't have time for this. Tim Kaine does act a little gayish. I will definitely say that Tim Kaine has a little gayness going in his behavior, because I'm getting accused of being gay all the time. You know that, right? Many of you people who constantly hose this show down call me that. And apparently when a guy lifts his voice past a certain octave, he sounds gay. So instead of talking like this, they talk more like this. And I was just going to say that. So it's like a much higher tonality. Kind of like Richard Simmons. Okay, everybody, let's run. Or Tim Gunn of Project Runway. Okay, everybody, let's just make this work. So, yeah, I mean, it's a higher voice thing.
Yeah. So I've chosen to talk like this because it's much more manly. Let's listen in on some of Tim Kaine to see if he's a little homo.
He's probably going to be our president if Hillary were to win without an investigation. Because Hillary's not going to last long. You know her Parkinson's is going to kick in really quick. So who is this guy, Tim Kaine?
The Archdeacon of Satan.
Who is he? Does he represent a biblical prophecy? Is he the Cain of Cain and Abel? Just look at his eyes, brethren. Look into the eyes of the purest of pure. You see darkness. Am I correct? Okay, let's see if this plays. It's queuing up. There we go. Let's check it out. Tim Kaine used to be insane, occasionally rap with the House of Pain. Who is Tim Kaine?
el Senado estamos esperando para la casa en muchos asuntos, reforma de inmigración.
He speaks Espanol. He is fluent in Spanish. Con permiso. He moved to practice law. He was elected Virginia's 70th governor in 2005.
Let me tell you about the worst day of my life.
Okay, we really didn't get a chance to listen to his voice, but you know, I just don't trust the guy. I tend to believe he's one of the party insiders in that whole corrupt DNC thing that's going on. So I think a lot of people are going to be kind of weirded out by the whole idea of Tim being a VP in our country. I'm not sure if it's going to be a positive experience. I have a real sense of disaster with this guy taking over for Clinton because Clinton is obviously suffering from Parkinson's. I say that haphazardly, but it really is more and more evident every day. Her ocular vision issues are indicative of Parkinson's. Her head shaking, etc., etc. Well, Kaine was not one of her favorites. In fact, Hillary said that she did not like him for the VP position over a year ago. She's published it in one of her books. She said she was not impressed with Kaine, but then she chose him. So I think it's Team Hillary making decisions here. It's David Axelrod making most of the top decisions. John Podesta is working on the side to manage their image. But I think Axelrod is really working heavily to continue the legacy of deception that Obama engaged in. And they're just very good at it. They lie, cheat, and steal. This is what they're good at. The real problem is the American people don't know it. And they're just finally figuring it out slowly. But they're good at this. This is their forte.
You'd have to be crazy to think.
Manipulating politics to work in their favor. In 2007, I went to a meeting for the Democrats, and they talked about framing the election and framing the words that they use. And they talked about, and I actually was quite upset by this whole idea of framing. I would pursue prosecution of the Democrats. Should this prove to be a completely rigged election, Mr. Bellows? Yes. We're looking at everything all the signs are showing that this election, and along with others in the past, have been rigged. But we're getting more in tune about what's going on because the internet is offering us much better angles. Axelrod is, I think he's a dark backer to this entire process between Hillary and Bill. Yeah. I walked out of the room with them yelling at me, calling me names. They told me that I would never, no one would ever vote for me, and I've already gotten 4,200 plus votes in my area. Yep, Hillary sent marked classified info to a non-secure Abaddon account. Breaking news. Okay, that's still not enough to get her in trouble. That's just a ding. That's not a major thing. You need something really hot. Something major to derail the Hillary campaign at this point. No, my head is not shaking. But we're very aware of all the potential things that can go wrong in an election. If a person is actively running, they should have the right people representing them. Not beautiful dancing girls. That's inappropriate. Again, we have the ocean pipeline. We have legalization. We have $400 a month per U.S. citizen going out to everybody in this country, and we're going to get rid of welfare in the process. Dave, simple question. Is a vote for the status quo a vote for mass domestic indefinite detention? Paul Atreides. Yes, I believe you're right, Paul. I believe that a vote for the status quo at this point is an endorsement of the New World Order and ultimately will take down our country. That's a problem. Nope, the pipeline is going to be, we're going to have ultraviolet light and a thing called ozonation. Have you heard of ozonation? Ozonation is a process of antiseptically cleaning water as it's going through a cationic converter. Positive ions are put in the water which eliminate the production of any bacteria or fungi or fungus among us. Mildew is a big thing you have to deal with. There will be small amounts of chlorine used to deal with mildew, but no moldicides and no algicides. No, I was hoping you would work on it. I'm using the same graphic because I believe in it. And if you don't like it, stick it. John, this $400 per U.S. adult is replacing it. We're offering every U.S. citizen, that means if you're in a household where you got 5 or 6 adults and grandma is holding the welfare check, well, you'll get 5 or 6 times $400 per month. So $2,000 to $2,400 every single month. It will be your monthly income, which may be different than what grandma's holding right now, but it may be very similar. And this way, everybody has a chance to pitch in, and we get the real participation in households, so that nobody's carrying somebody and the government isn't carrying the family. It takes away the incentive program of welfare, where people want to have kids to get $250 per kid extra. There's no incentives in this program to have kids. We will, however, have a robust food supply at the schools, offering breakfast to anybody who needs it, no questions asked, and lunches to anybody who wants lunches. And even on the weekends, we'll offer a sack lunch to take home for mom and dad and yourself to eat. I don't care. We want to have plenty of food for the kids, primarily. But when you give the money to the mom or the father in a welfare home, it's oftentimes used on other things, and I think you know what I mean. No, my eyeball is absolutely exactly the size of my left eyeball. And I have had them calibrated. My assistant technology division at the Lawrence Livermore Lab does all of my eye calibrations. There is absolutely no variation whatsoever in my ability to focus. Tim Kaine is disturbing. He's like he reminds me of a little elf evilly working for Santa Claus but not liking it, you know? No, we won't legalize cocaine. Sorry, Morgoth. Not a big thing. But unless 2/3 of the country wants to legalize it, I don't want anything to do with that. Here's how to stop voter fraud. Protect your vote. There you go. I'm a little concerned about the idea of legalizing all drugs. If you can get 2/3 of the country to agree on that, then we'll talk. But other than that, I'm just not going to do it. Too many people go down the cocaine highway. I think you know who I'm talking about. Need I remind you of the current sniffer, world-renowned sniffer, and the Republican nominee?
You have one vote. How do you protect your vote?
But I'm not in any way saying that Donald Trump is a cocaine user. I can't jump to that conclusion. Women, actually, the woman who played Princess Leia, Carrie Fisher, said that she did a lot of coke, and she definitely felt that he was on something. That's what she said.